man, and here I am. It's like, just think about it even then. Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy.
I think it happens for a lot of players too, where you can look back in your past and just see all the individual players that just taught you so much about the game and like pulled you through with them. Like for me, like when I started playing Dota 2, it was just, I think it was Tides of Time. He just messaged me, hey, you want to come play? Because we played Dota 1 together. I'm like, okay, sounds fun. And then we made like a team together, and like, you know, I had
5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Evil geniuses turn to ban.
Just instantly being like, yeah, you're my friend now. Like, come along for the ride. Like, you're a part of the community. And like, I've had that happen to me so many times, and it's really exciting. But you know what's even more exciting? The fact that we're getting into this game right now. Let's take a look at some of the bans that we are seeing for EG versus Beastcoast. First game of the day that's going to be played out on our stage. Looks like we got a Nyx, something that we've seen a whole bunch just getting banned.
They should ban Nyx Leshrac.
5 seconds
I think
remaining.
Beastcoast has shown that, like, Whisper in general, he likes to play a lot of ranged damage dealers. Like the Leshracs, the Phoenixes.
Yeah, the Phoenixes.
Yeah, Snapfire, anything like that. Oh, they banned A instead. So Beastcoast will, I think they might take the Leshrac here as ban for some in the LGD series.
Oh, they went Treant for...
Okay, this is a hero that teams have been talking about. I think
Holy Locket Rush, and you spam your living armor on towers on some guy that's going to run around the map aggressively. A lot of Chinese teams during the DPC were pairing it with the Leshrac.
Yeah, specifically because the towers are really hard to take now, just because they changed the TP range. This Treant hero is one of the best supports at delaying the tower, as well, of course, the heal as well. And I think this hero is underrated right now. I came in being told it was first pick, and no one played it, pretty much.
I'm a bit surprised. I will be shocked if Beastcoast does not go Leshrac right
Yeah, they should. I think it's really good here.
10 seconds
EG,
remaining.
they do have some ideas here though. They picked a really strong lane. I think it's pretty hard to lane Treant into this lane in particular. They just hit really hard. I mean, it's Mars Lina, one of the best lanes. But not only that, but when you die to take a tower, your arena clears all the trees. So Treant can no longer defend.
People are consistently picking Mars against Tree, and you said that you were hearing that Tree would be first pick, or was being first picked. It really could be as simple as they don't want to ban Mars in the first round, and a lot of teams feel like if Mars is in the pool, Tree can't do what it wants to do, which is sit behind the one tower and defend it within the safety of the trees.
Okay, so to go for the TA, honestly still surprised they're not going for the Leshrac. Chris Luck though, he has so I was talking to Quinn this morning, CCNC on Quincy Crew. I'm like, what do you think of Chris Luck? And he's like, well, most mid players have a hero pool. Chris Luck has a pool lake. Because he just plays everything. He breaks out like Slark's mid, he's playing Mars mid, one of the first ones, like Legion mid. He's playing TA.
He does indeed play whatever the hell.
Yeah, he just plays anything.
I remember there was one patch where Axe, this is like a year or two ago, where Axe seemed pretty strong as an offlaner, and Chris Luck just first pick spammed Axe in the mid lane for like 40 games in a row. It ended up being terrible, but he's just the kind of guy that he just doesn't care. If he wants to play, he's feeling it. I love his attitude.
He's like the pubs though, like he does whatever he wants and he tests his ideas. Yeah, it's good.
He's like ranked 90, but you're like, if this guy legit took every game super seriously and did not experiment, he'd probably be ranked higher, but it would not help him.
He's like one of the few players where I feel like the way they play the game is exactly how they are in real life as well.
Oh my god.
It's like this like weird phenomenon with him. When I met him, I was like, oh my god.
You're talking about TI 8 after party or 9?
It was you, me. Yeah.
I was there with you. I'm like, I think we're thinking about the same thing.
I love that dude.
Dude, no, Chris Luck. Okay, you guys have to understand. This is in a nice way, because he. Okay, some people come off creepy. He was legit like flirting with everyone's girlfriends for no reason.
I was gonna actually say this story.
Like, I remember me and my girlfriend were there, and I'm literally like,
Team Secret's gonna be tweeting about him now.
I'm like my arm around my girlfriend, and he's hitting on her.
I was literally watching. I was like, what the heck?
He's actually a beast.
Yeah, absolute legend. He kept sitting on a table too, and the table kept falling down, and he kept picking up the table and sitting on it again. Like, what the? And that's what it takes to be. You know, usually you would say doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different different results. That's the definition of insanity. That's the definition of a good Dota player.
Especially mid players. Like mid players are they're just built different.
Yeah.
Like they're different than every other Dota player, and Chris Luck, I guess he embodies that.
Yeah, the odd part about him is nobody was uncomfortable. Like he doesn't give you like bad
No, it's
vibes.
not like
It was like come hang out with us.
Hey, dude, like come hit on our girlfriend.
We're not gonna tweet about you. We're not team secret.
Geniuses turn to band.
All right, so we get that Bat Rider and the Phoenix band here.
Yeah, they're just banning to protect the TA. Anytime you pick a core like this, pretty much your next 3 bans from first pick are always gonna protect that 4th slot.
EG's drafts have been very formulaic, and they've been following it so far. So if they were first pick, they will always pick AA on the side of
10
EG. If they're not first
remaining.
pick, they've banned AA every game. I should have actually noted that because I have that in my notes. But if they don't get AA,
remaining.
they always first round their 4 plus either their mid or off lane, and then in the second round, they pretty much always third pick Fly's hero, and then they pretty much always last pick Arteezy's hero. So they are very consistent in what order they pick the roles.
And we saw that the last major too, right? Like they would just pick Abbott's hero first 2. Well, they would just pick Storm first 2, no matter what. No matter what.
So far, Mars is their most picked offlaner. They've picked it 2 out of the 4 games, now 3 out of 5. And Abed and Arteezy have both played 4 different heroes. So even though they're first rounding Abed's hero half the time, it's not consistent with what they're doing, which is kind of cool.
EG is a team though. If they think
Evil
something is broken,
geniuses turn
they will
to
pick it
run
over
back.
and over
Yeah,
again.
first pick Terrorblade, never forget.
Yeah. And it's not necessarily bad. Like sometimes if they lose, it ends up looking stupid.
Yeah.
But I think EG's the type of team that's willing to bet on their knowledge over the enemy team's knowledge, like their understanding of a hero a lot of times. And I mean, they're a good team.
Remaining.
Their laning stage is the scariest in the world, I think.
I think so too. I think,
remaining.
especially with Ice joining, because whenever you ask any carry player, like who's the most annoying person to play against, like even as a support, it's always going to be Ice. He's just such a little shit, but in a good way. Like he just pushes everything. He will do stuff just to annoy you, even if it doesn't benefit him. Like he's in a mental game.
He's literally playing. He's like in a major while he's playing a Dota game. No, so I don't know if you know this because it was there's somewhat of a trend on Reddit with Ice spamming on his stream. It became a thing that he would purposely TP out in front of people that he knew would have to go out of position to cancel his TP, but they could, like 100%. Yeah. He wasn't intending to TP ever, but he made the guy walk forward to stun him, and then his team was behind, and they would kill the guy. It's like the weirdest thing.
Just mental game.
Yeah, who
just
does
straight
that?
mental
He's
game.
like TPing out with the expectation to get it canceled, so the guy canceling it dies. Like who comes up with this crap?
Pure bait.
Yeah,
Actually, I have one like that I've wanted to do for a long time.
What is it?
But I'm too bad to play now. It's so your team's smoking to defend a tier 2, right?
Yeah.
And you have two people TP in front of it.
Yeah.
And cancel it. So the enemy team's like, oh, we can take this tower.
Oh.
But you're smoking there, and then you just, they don't think you're gonna
You'd
5
probably
anymore.
be more believable if it was 1.
Yeah,
then, like,
just 1 even.
Yeah, and it would be 1, and then you'd like see the people around you and then cancel.
Yeah, the
That'd be
cancel,
sick.
it's...
Oh, they don't have
Oh, I was
carry.
going to do that.
No carry, guys. Okay, so they've... No, go ahead.
Nah, you go ahead.
I was gonna say they instantly picked 2 heroes, the Willow. The one thing I like about Willow is that it's a lot of counter initiation for the combos that EG's setting up, and I think you have to have some deterrent to this insane amount of damage aggression that EG's representing already.
The EG just have a ton of magic damage amped up by that ET. And I think I agree with the Willow. They needed something like this, some AoE control. I mean, Trin sort of gives you AoE control, but it's not like a real stun.
It's not a stun against heroes that are casting spells.
Exactly, yeah. Okay, Bloodseeker. This is a Hector classic, actually. He plays Bloodseeker, and you think it's going to be semi-carry, but he will hard carry the game with this hero. He will go Manta. He'll spam that Manta off cooldown with no regards for anything, and he'll TP to every lane, take all the farm, and he will out-carry like any hero on this
I'm
hero.
not saying this is 100% going to happen, but Hector is the kind of guy. I look at these lineups, and if I think the Bloodseeker, immediately comes to mind he's going to need a BKB. Hector is a player that I think there's about a 50-50 chance he never buys a BKB this game. And
yeah, I would not want to play this game without BKB.
I'm saying that's Hector,
I would believe it with
that's
Hector.
Hector.
Yeah.
He's the kind of guy that will go Manta weekend Scotty just to make sure he doesn't die.
He's used to playing Wraith King. He's used to having a second life, you know?
Indeed.
But Hector's like he's also the carry with he has like a passive Midas. Every game, he just has so much farm, it comes out of nowhere.
Remaining.
It is legit nuts.
He's really good.
I was talking to Rich on panel yesterday. You weren't there. I said, I think he's the best farmer. And like,
yeah, he might be.
Just if you only take that one facet of the game.
Honestly, the South American carries in general, like I think HFN on no ping, like we'll see, he's a fast farmer.
Yeah.
I don't know what made it like that, but they're really
It seems so simple.
efficient.
Just hit more creeps faster, but there's a lot more to it than that. That's why it's so impressive.
Nah, just in general, for people who want to gain MMR, you should learn how to farm. It will
Watch
gain
the
you a
farming
lot of
patterns of
MMR.
these South American carries. You will learn something.
Do you think this is probably a mid Viper, right? You would say?
Oh, well, certainly.
Okay, because I don't think. I mean, okay, of course, it can't be carried.
So far, Mars has been off lane for Ice both games.
So they banned to protect the TA, but they didn't ban this Viper hero,
which is probably the #1 counter, right?
Yeah, I think Viper's really strong for TA. Not even just for the lane, but if you Nanotoxin her without BKB, like you're just a melee hero now. Like the entire reason TA is strong right now is because of
Sideblade talent.
Yeah, Sideblade talent. The Neil build with Dragonlance. You can't hit anyone if you don't have any range.
I wonder if he's gonna skip the Dragonlance, like he just goes blink BKB.
Just because of Viper?
Yeah,
or?
play around the fact that you can't rely on that game plan.
I think it's probably a bit hard to commit in this game with a blink. I would like to. I like your idea, but maybe like some Dragonlance Death of BKB. I could see that working really well.
Okay.
Like I just don't want her to blink in, and then she just gets Mars Arena'd or something, or like she gets Viper ultied and kited. It's hard to play TA like
this. Pango band's really good. I think that it would have. I was thinking it for Whisper. He just loves playing these Chaos heroes. I don't think any ranged backline offlaners are going to fit this game. He needed a hero that just ran in and caused some disruption, and Pango's probably the best at that this game because it has the built-in BKB with the Rolling Thunder.
Is there anything else you think could allow him to get that disruption, though?
He's just such a weird player.
I think he does need to play a melee hero, though. Beastcoast have generally been pretty good at pairing. Like, if they have a range hero on 4, they'll have a melee hero. If they have a melee hero on 4, they'll pick a range hero.
I did see a Wyvern Phoenix offlane yesterday from them.
Yeah, they also do crazy stuff like that.
So they do very out-of-the-box, non-traditional things.
I think they need more team fight, so maybe if they can make Wyvern work... I don't know.
I think they might even go like Magnus or something.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's
EG have second pick, right? Or...
Yeah, it's Beastcoast pick right now.
Okay. It's probably hard to pick a vulnerable Beastmaster, okay.
That's a different approach. That's more of a map-oriented approach.
It's really good versus Outer Titan, and there was a time where you did need to ban Beastmaster versus Whisper. It was when Beastmaster was a bit of a different hero, you know, before the Aghanims, Imba ruined the hero, but
You may now select your heroes.
Biggest part about this last pick, because we talked about the overwhelming magic damage EG had, it is all removed by BKB. Like all of the other 4 heroes. So you needed a guy that's gonna pelt everyone who's in that BKB. And I think Terrorblade, usually the go-to when you're lacking tower damage as well as single target physical.
He also provides some lane push. I mean, Mars and Viper aren't bad, but having more lane shift, especially for a team like EG, definitely makes it easy to play. And I think you'll be able to like reflection the Beastmaster aura, and the most important thing to me is that they need a carry that can sort of stand and fight. Like if the enemy goes in with BKBs, they have sort of immobile cores into Mars and Viper, you need to be able to stand your ground, and Terrorblade does that really well with meta.
Okay. All right. Well, with that, you heard from our analysts an outline of what may happen in this first game of the day, but let's just get to business and watch EG versus Beastcoast.
That's right, here we are, EG up against Beastcoast. Of course, EG with a very solid draft, as it looks like, and Beastcoast trying to pull a fast one, the Beastmaster as that last pick. What do you think?
Well, I gotta see Beastmaster is kind of boring, you know, and especially now without the Aghanim Scepter, I don't see Helm of the Dominator being too viable on the hero anymore. We're definitely gonna need some armor, but it's definitely a very strong last pick DB for EG, where he is really not afraid of any heroes pretty much, except the Dark Willow, but stun once he gets that to that second, third item, I think this Terrorblade can easily take over the game. Over the last few days, we've seen, you know, what Arteezy TB can do, and they know how to utilize monetize it. They know how to play around the Terrorblade. They know how to secure his farm, so looking really forward to it.
Yeah, especially in the matchups, like you said, against the Beastmaster. I think the panel mentioned, you know, the Reflection taking that Imp Beast aura against Bloodseeker, and even TA, who can struggle to close the gap, get on top of the TB, and with his massive amounts of armor, actually take him down. But yeah, you're right, the Beastmaster's been a bit of a weird one. We have that Agnum's part of the meta where it was just played mid lane, rushing Agnum Scepter. We haven't seen too much of Beastmaster in SA DPC, and when we have, it's very much been this medallion pipe rush. He just goes full aura bot. He doesn't really care about Helm or Vlad's or anything like that. Just buff up his carries.
You're definitely gonna need the Solar Crest here. You're playing into ET, which will remove all your base armor, and most of the damage is gonna come from that Terrorblade.
Maybe a Crimson?
Maybe. Yeah, pipe more.
Okay.
Let's see what he has. Phase boots, and yeah, that's a Solar Crest queued up. And considering how Whisper has been playing, even on the last rack where he decides to build all these tanky items, the mech, Guardian Greaves, he went for a Solar Crest one game, plus a Heaven's Halberd, just being able to tank up. So his itemization is really on point. He understands like where this damage is gonna come from. We can see on the mid lane already a D-ward coming out from Schofield.
I love that bit of tech that was discovered, what, like a year and a half, 2 years ago, whatever it was, where you're going into that tower range just behind the trees, you know, where the wards are hiding. That extra bit of vision gives the tower the opportunity to attack you. And that immediate D-ward from the Dark Willow does have to return back down to bottom lane, though, as Arteezy and Fly, the Terrorblade Elder Titan, up against this Beastmaster Dark Willow lane. And usually with Whisper, you were mentioning, you know, he has a pretty good time, gets into the aura items with a Leshrac, with the Nature's Prophet, the Death Prophet even. It's mainly ranged heroes he plays. Do you think he can create that pressure on a TB with a Beastmaster?
Whenever there's meta up, he's gonna struggle. We can already see Fly completely zoning him out. He gets close, ET, a lot of damage. There is one Observer Ward that I believe is inside, but they're still gonna do the body block, e.g. Fly, just doing some real right-click damage right there.
Not fake ones?
Nope, not a fake damage.
That's some good pummeling into Schofield Willow. Maraska not too happy about that as at top lane, the strong lane that the panel were mentioning. Crit and Ice Ice Ice, Lena Mars, the displacement ability of the spear, and of course that catch with the Light Strike Array. So good against the Treant, as they've already cleared through the majority of the trees, especially on that right-hand side of the lane, so much more difficult for him. As Schofield there, under tower, pops the Fairy Fire and turns. Bramble Maze catches Fly for a second, but it's just to be able to get your regen off there for Whisper.
Fly brought so much regen to this lane, has a Windlace to be able to close the gap, get actually some damage on the heroes, and now using a healing cell, bringing another while sitting on Stangos. Mid lane, this should not be an easy lane for Templar Assassin. One reason why they decided to pick Viper, the overtime damage, go through the refraction charges. Chris Luck has that bottle now, so we'll be able to refill it with the water rune.
Yeah, and a good spot there, Scriff, our observer, showing us that little small camp blocked out by the sentry. Something a lot of these mid laners do like to do right is clear that camp after pushing the wave.
And this allows Templar Assassin not to gain any farm. If she feels she can't get farm in the lane, we'll need to go to big camp, maybe like even a medium camp where outpost it, so they're not gonna be that easy. Fly getting slowed down, but should be all right. This is, as we mentioned, free Terrorblade game, and he's off to a really good start. 14 CS, 8 denies, Beastmaster, 4 and 2 only. Fly doing a very good job, pretty much zoning out both of these heroes, keeping the levels on himself low, while Arteezy is getting all the levels, level 3.5 already.
Across the board as well, right, Lacoste? I mean, it's a great start from EG, level-wise, experience-wise, CS as well. Every single lane dominating their counterparts. 10 denies on TB, 9 on the Viper. They're starting to shut down Beastcoast even from this very early portion. And you're right, that large camp needs to be taken by the TA. She has ditched the mid lane, can no longer stand up against that Viper's onslaught.
We've seen yesterday, it was Sumail who played against Chris Luck Venomancer. He did really well on Templar Assassin, but the small camp was not blocked.
They've got TB moving forward. Oh, he can't pass through the brambles and the boars. Opts to instead kill off the boar as Fly. Oh, we'll need one more hit here. The Fairy Fire toying with Fly, try and juke into the trees. Whisper's baited the ET in. First blood comes for Beastcoast. Fly gets it. Play for Schofield. He'll get the trade. Arteezy does get himself up on the board.
It's still a very good trade for EG. Arteezy getting solo XP. It was very close. Fairy Fire actually saved him there. Once again, Arteezy getting all the solo XP on the bottom lane. Fly will TP, heal him up, That's what you need to do as position 5, pretty much. Give tangos, give healing cells. You're very good at it, Gary. I remember one game when you had like 5 healing cells, mangoes and clarities running around.
Yeah, I was a little bit annoyed with my trusty shovel, but then I realized it was a blessing in disguise, just running around with salves, healing my teammates up. Salve Spammer 2000. I've renamed myself already.
Good name. Panel talked about Bloodseeker K1 being allergic to a BKB. I see an early BKB. Maelstrom, phase boots, not messing around. There's a ton of magical damage that he definitely needs to get, and also against the Sunder, it doesn't pierce spell immunity, so you want to have that one covered as well on top of it.
Oh yeah, especially when your targets are the Viper and the TB. Getting on top of them and dealing with all of that great teamfight reset and initiation, because you think about Stomp, I think the panel also mentioned about the Mars Arena, it's not just catch and kill. There's a great spear after Light Striker 8 puts K1 in danger under the tier 1 tower. He won't drop for it. But
Bloodseeker has a ton of armor, 8, plus he also gets extra 4 from a chainmail, so it doesn't get as much damage from that tier 1 tower as other carries would.
They are building up some pretty nice stacks here for Chris Lock. Would you like to see someone go and take that mid lane over for him, or is it fine just clearing camps and coming back from time to time as well? Hang on a second, Whisper. Oh, he's back to
Bottom lane's not doing really well. I don't think they can get any kills. Maybe a return kill on position 5, but their TZ should feel pretty safe. Has 6 magic on charges, has that Tango, getting closer to level 6, might even get to get the Sunder, so potentially Dark Willow can run to mid lane and collect some XP while Templar Assassin is jungling.
Yeah, because you've got to do something about this, right?
It's a catapult wave.
Catapult waves there, and Crit's even maneuvered himself to try and get a bit more damage onto that tier 1 tower. Willow will come in from behind, chuck a Bramble Maze towards them, drag the creep wave around, but now surrounded. 3 heroes there, the TP cancelled by the Stomp, and Abed picks up a nice kill for himself, as well as it's an illusion room. This push isn't going to stop now. He'll cut the wave and keep it going. 3 heroes from EG into mid.
They didn't manage to keep the catapult alive, so that's kind of a bummer. Maybe Crit could have been the one tanking the tower, but they had no healing cells, so ET had one. Maybe that was the play, you know, just keep it alive instead of trying to go for a kill. Because Fly was already there, ready with a stomp. Another LNC.
Onto the Treant.
Treant's very dead.
Yeah, absolutely is. And one by one, Beastcoast filtering to try and defend this objective. And he's gone for that 1-2-0 build. More on the Leech Seed, none in the Living Armor. So this tower, absolutely got on the deny attempt. Not quite on time from Schofield. And Abed now opens up the map for EG. So it's going to be a real smooth breakdown of the lane stage here, where Terrorblade can start to think about swinging up the top, get another tier 1 going for themselves. It's a very steady and calm game for EG, while it feels like Beastcoast the ones that need to hit their item timing.
This is pretty much the perfect scenario for EG. Panel talked about how EG is very strong in the laning stage, one of the scariest teams, and this shows why. Viper, after taking the tier 1 tower on the mid, has boots of travel ready, so he can farm the jungle and join anywhere on the map with it. Also finds a fairy trinket, very nice indeed.
And Crit coming in behind K1. Does he have another stun? 2 seconds for the Light Striker Ray, and he is under vision. The K1 apparently speedy enough to get away from the Lina, so she turns on to Stinger instead. That's an absolute beatdown coming from OG. No one here from Beastcoast can show in the lanes or even show in their jungle. They're getting chased around non-stop. Viper now arriving, means Stinger's done for, and a killing spree for Abed, and this is that transition into the top tier 1 we were talking about.
Meanwhile, on the bottom, Artesia understands there might be some pressure, just sitting in jungle for now. EG playing very crisp this first 7 minutes of the game.
It's just, yeah, the natural flow of the game, right? Terrorblade wants to make that migration move up towards the triangle, maybe pressure top lane. Usually it's a little bit later on, you know, 9, 10, even 11 minutes in. So this is all happening very early on for EG. Maybe 2 minutes ahead of the curve even. Chris Luck coming up towards top.
It's too late. They already got the tower. Living armor, not enough. It's only level 1 living armor. Chris Luck, as you mentioned.
The Radiant Sentry sees him.
I didn't want to fully commit. Probably checked if anyone has a dust, has a sentry, because he was running out of the range of it. Very nicely done by Abed.
Beastcoast. That plan to go farm triangle, it's got to come to fruition now. TA is going to be there for quite some time. While EG just ramping up the pressure, playing all 3 lanes. Dragonlance, about 300 gold away for Chris Luck, so that's a nice bit of stats. Extra range, of course, but getting stomped up in the mid lane. Abed
They have a
Back up
sentry.
the TA, and you're right, they've got all this reveal.
Radiant's bottom
They'll see the
tower
TA
is
trying to
under
TP
attack.
home. That's optimistic from Chris Long, and definitely not successful. While in the jungle, Crit, he's been ruptured up. K1 and Schofield going to work on the Lena. The backup from Ice is here with an arena though. Straight towards the Bloodseeker with a spear, but he's held in place by the Brambles and that Nature's Grasp. Here's going to get the kill. And you're right, Arbit. He's managed to TP top lane and looks for some bonus kills. Stinger slowed down into the Nether Toxin, and Arbit, for that damage over time, will try and open it up for Ice to get a finishing blow.
Man, EG is playing so aggressively. They get a good trade. Once again, first they get the Templar Assassin on the mid lane, just slowing her down. Templar Assassin doesn't have that much farm, you know. She has 68 CS sitting at the middle of the pack, of Viper taking pretty much the top of the network chart with 5,000. Holy smokes, dude. He's
farmed.
He's actually super farmed. And Fly will get a D ward.
It really is just step by step. Almost Dota by colours here by EG. Everything's been very simple, systematic. Fly with that D-ward. Looks like he will get surrounded by Beastcoast. One kill going their way.
Both supports on Beastcoast very underleveled. Level 4, 10 minutes in. I believe Dark Willow needs to get a tome. We'll see. And in this situation, as a Dark Willow, you don't max Shadow Realm. Like, it's like you don't get any value from it.
Control.
You're all about that control. Bramble Maze and max out the Cursed Crown. I would not be surprised if he just keeps the Shadow Realm level 1 and has like 4-1-4.
Probably the smart move. So in this kind of situation, we talked about how well EG are doing. On the flip side, Beastcoast needing to hit these item timings on the TA, the Bloodseeker, that Maelstrom, the Deso, the BKB, things like that. Where do you find this room? And who do you prioritize? Because these heroes, they don't feel like they can go and smoke gank or fight, do they?
They definitely need items. Like Templar Assassin now finished off the Dragonlance. Once she gets that level 10 talent, extra 100 side blades range, it's going to be much easier. Abed.
Oh, he's trying to bait. Illusion Rune dropped across. They don't know which one's real, and Whisper picked off by the Viper. Good little move from Abed there. Crit, of course, helping out to cancel the TP, something Viper can't do on his own. While top jungle again, EG with the invade. Missing out on K1, terrorized towards the ET. He's ruptured up as well, but Schofield's being soloed by a TB illusion. Arteezy just turns one Illu towards the Dark Willow, shoves her away, and here comes the spear. Arena side, back onto Willow, pummels her into the ground. Chris Long can't save his teammate. And EG on a real roll now. Beastcoast will secure this large camp, stack for themselves, scrambling to pick up any gold they can.
TB illusion, scouting things out. As a support, it's one of the most annoying things to deal with, because your right clicks don't actually deal damage. You also don't want to spend like Bedlam to kill it, and then you can't make any aggressive moves. Good thing going for Beastcoast is having this Treant Protector who can stall out the game. Unfortunately, Living Armor only level 1 at this point. He definitely needs some levels, get that Overgrowth online to be able to reset the fight.
Desperately needs it. He's gone, 2 points in the grass, I guess, because of that situation where he wants to be pushing out the lanes a little bit faster.
We still
consistently
have not seen a single roar being used. They should be playing around the Beastmaster, full Solar Crest done on him, so that's going to be a significant amount of damage, and also tankiness providing against the TB, ET, only 1 point in Aura. Eventually he will get it, just wants to be able to have that Echo Stomp maxed out, has a point in ulti. I listen to Fogged a lot. He is the
master of ET
expert, so he's like, in this situation, at 2 points in Astral is enough. You need to max out the Echo Stomp and then go for the Aura. No need to be greedy.
No, of course not.
You're not the one who's dealing damage, and look at all the damage amplification that they got.
Dire's top
Viper
tower is
with
under
the poison
attack.
attack, reducing the magic resistance. Then you have ET removing the basic magic resistance with the Aura.
Willow again. Streak continuing for Ice. Nice. Dominating now on that wonderful offlane Mars.
Rich is not happy. Rich seeing Dark Willow.
Mireska
doing so poorly in this game. 1-4 and 2, sitting at the bottom of net worth. Not really contributing too much.
Yeah, 5-0 on the Viper there as well. Having a cracking time on Abed. The point you brought up about the Beastmaster, though, needing to play around him and the Roar, they're doing that now with Stinger. Not the best combo to go in with them, man. Ice back towards the Beastmaster, getting out the Earth Splitter there. Beastcoast looking to force a fight around Roshan, but they lose their Treant. A 1-for-1 trade, I guess that's decent when you're this far behind already, but you're not able to take any semblance of map control. Metamorphosis is used here, so EG gonna ramp things up and push towards that tier 2 mid and even the dire triangle.
The problem for EG right now is they're so far ahead, they have no objectives to take. They took a tier 1 tower on the top, they took the mid, like they still can't kill the Roach, but you can see them like trying to go for something. Good kill.
He's made the jump on the Beastmaster. Incomplete. This is a great usage of the meta if they can get the kill, but the body block's not enough. Whisper too tanky with that. Like you said, Solar Crest, Phase Boost plus Living Armor makes him incredibly difficult to bring down in a short duration.
Radiant's middle tower is under
That's
attack.
meta down. Something here Beastcoast could use to their advantage is a window, an opening for them to get out on the map and start playing their own game because they've not made any real initiative moves themselves. Crit smoke pops. Nice aside jumps. That arena. Back onto the Beastmaster. Here comes the crit already launched down his light strike array while Arbed with a DD route onto crit slug. Any stuns to stop the TP. Stop a second late.
And Viper, he also want to be able to scale, going into more damage-oriented items. Dragonlance, he is a dragon after all, like dragon slash Viper, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And now going into man style to be able to get rid of those knowing silences, can dispel a Solar Crest, Overgrowth mostly. Like carry and mid players, whenever they see tree and they're like, Manta style is the item that I want to buy. Like screw everything else, Manta style is the thing to go.
I don't want to press my BKB for some foliage that's holding me into the place. I don't want that. Oh, SSI sees K1. Bloodseeker trying to farm that camp on the low ground. Dangerous spot, but the roar in the back. Whisper finds the leader. Stomp from Fly towards K1 and that Laguna Blade will take him down. Bloodseeker out, and still trying to respond to this, but SSI's there with a body block. Cancelled out by the Overgrowth. Still have the spear and split it out, landing in towards Whisper, and that'll take him out of the game.
Nicely done. EG taking most of the farm on the map. DB farming triangle with the illusions. Got a body block the camp. Nope. It actually expires the illusion efficiency. Arteezy's too good. Like 1 second before, it expired.
Clever man.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And Arteezy so strong right now, feeling he can just push straight onto that tier 2 top. 8,000 net worth on him, and it's a great job by Beastcoast, you know, keeping the TA competitive in the net worth, but then you start thinking about the Viper, the Mars, they are significantly ahead of their counterparts in the Bloodseeker and that Beastmaster.
It takes a bit more time than usual when you're playing against the Treant Protector, so you sometimes need to fully commit, go on the tower, bring that one extra person to be able to deal with the Living Armor, and now tier 2 tower is gone, we'll take the outpost. They still have enough resources to possibly defend the bottom.
It is one of those interesting scenarios though, right? Like you said, they're quite far ahead at one early point. As Whisper getting caught in the mid lane. SSI just seems to be on his tail every step of the way, finding that Beastmaster once again.
Pretty much the perfect game from SSI. So 0 deaths involved in a lot of kills, going for the correct targets in a team fight. Dark Willow not allowing her to use her spells, and going back to her skill build. 1 point in Shadow Realm, as we discussed, the more value you get from maxing out the Curse Crown, reducing the cooldown on it, possibly using another set of it, going into Shard. We'll still need to wait for that 20-minute mark, but once you get it, it's super annoying.
So EG in this position now, you mentioned it, with very few objectives that they can very easily go and take, because they've taken them already. The next real goal should be around that Roshan and probably looking for a team fight to get into the pit. But I feel like Beastcoast are also aiming for that point as well, right? TA lineups, they want Roche, they want Aegis. They're getting now into the BKB on TA. They've got Bloodseeker getting into his own one, which is, what, about 1,400 gold away.
They want Roche, but I also want to be tall, blonde, and handsome Gary, which is not happening. I've just got to be more realistic.
Well, you're two of those things. You're tall and handsome.
I'm really not tall, but okay.
First crown, I'm going to count in time. Schofield dead as the initiation from EG blows up the both supports. A roar from Whisper. K1 thinking about popping himself into that fight, but the entirety of EG is all here. It's a 3v5. Chris Luck comes in. He wants crit. Takes down the leader. TA. That's one kill and a TP home. See ya. I'm out of here.
Cannot stop it. They don't have ETLT, nothing to stop the TP with. K1 dropping fairly low, going into BKB. After finishing the Maelstrom, this is going to be his defensive tool.
He's still farming. K1 greedily hitting creeps. Slowed down by the reflection. Isocides with a spear, and K1. He's stuck around for far too long.
Extremely greedy. Like, where could they possibly be? You know, do they want to farm a left part of the map, or do they want to farm Ancient? So, like, they just got 2-3 big kills, and it's kind of obvious that they're gonna go inside the triangle. Maybe just potentially send a TB illusion. Here we go again.
Straight onto Stinger. Just grab, slows down ISS, but he has that displacement tool, repositioning the Treant back into the rest of his team. Stinger, he finds a tiny hidey hole there, but he can't get away from the grasps of EG. Arteezy with yet another pick-off. While Whisper trying to just keep a little bit of pressure on this bottom lane, up towards the tier 3 tower, push with the boars, but he's got to be careful to not get caught out. Dire vision. So it's a false sense of security for Whisper. Oh, they're going to find him. Fly, not even bothering. I've already blinked forward, hadn't he?
He thought that they have full team behind him. Was very worried. And I understand why. He's 7-0 and 4, high level. If he dies, feeds away a lot of gold to the enemy team.
You don't want that. And Abed, like you mentioned, Manta style done after that bot's Dragonlance. That's so incredibly tanky. 15 armor on him. He's got tons of armor on the Terrorblade. So Beastcoast's game plan, the one fight that they really have to take, again, around that Roche pit, around that primary objective for them. How do they start the fight? Who do they go on? Do you try and blow up the Lina first?
That's the plan. Seems like that's just what they've been doing the last couple of fights. TA goes on Lina, pops a BKB, and here we go again. I've seen this movie a couple of times already.
They're trying to get great arena though. Still with the Bedlam. Out comes the damage from Maraska's little friend. And Chris Lock with a BKB, and oh, he doesn't have a TP scroll. He's going to meld and hide. Can't escape.
Do they have any
geniuses?
Spear?
Spear is there.
He gets it.
The Templar Assassin. Eyesight sight.
Eyesight sights with the back.
Back.
How does he know?
He just knows exactly where she is.
Yes, he does.
Oh, that was great. That was actually so good. Uses the Nether Toxin. I mean, they click on the heroes, Gary. I guess that's why they saw there's no TP. Someone called it. Professional e-gamers paying attention to the items. Yeah, they were very good at it.
Using their eyes. I saw exactly what was up. And K1 is like agents, and that's why BKE now arrives. But 30 seconds without a TA, and first Roshan going EG's way, 21-7 with a 7k lead. Scardy on the TB. This is starting to feel like an insurmountable amount of lead that EG has.
One thing that Beastcoast is very good at is getting the most out of the map when they feel they're not winning. Their games yesterday, things are not going well. They go for a sneaky little play. Tiny, Schofield manages to get Avalanche and 2 heroes, stop the TPs. They take one set of racks. Then K1 with Abba, plus Samantha style takes another set of racks. They lost that game, but they still always have some kind of a backup plan. It feels like split push is their way to come back into the game. Beastmaster right now on the bottom being very annoying, trying to force one rotation. Viper can be the one just being there and TP back to the fight with the boots of travel. Sure can.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We saw this plenty of times where I feel like the mid to late game macro movements, that decision making of where to be on the map, is what Beastcoast feel they do best.
Tower is under attack.
And they are getting to a point where they'll have 2 BKBs, the blink on the Beastmaster, the jump and initiation for Beastcoast could levy themselves a good team fight with just the numbers advantage if they blow someone up.
Is under attack.
Chris Lock has to be wary though of his positioning. ISO Sight has been so good with these blink forward, spear back. Especially with the rest of EG ready and waiting around this tier 2 mid lane.
The Psyblades with level 10 talent and a Dragonlance is insane. He actually got hit by the Eyesight Size.
There we go. They jump on in. Arena there to try and save up the Viper. The rupture, the damage. They blew through on the bit. Beastcoast, the timing they've hit. The team fight comes in thick and fast. The fear as well. Artetimes and the ET caught up in it, but on good of late turn from Crit. And the Scardy slow, pummeling into the TA. Turnaround for EG. That's where their net worth lead lies. Good. Back on again and a triple for Crit.
Arteezy not really afraid to use Sunders to save his teammates. We saw the other day when he popped it, then uses Satanic right after. Oh, trap. I don't think he's gonna die to it. Do they have any kind of a heal? They don't. No.
Any more traps? Oh.
Aegis will run out 3 minutes, so he will keep it. TP's back to base. He is the king of the game. Like Arteezy sitting on the heal, I'm not talking about the heal where he usually is, just sitting on a high ground, dealing damage with meta. Looked like a good opener for Beastcoast. Mars still didn't die. I actually don't know how Ice lived. I moved my camera a bit to the right, saw like TB, Dark Willow was coming from the side. You can see the power of Dark Willow and the shard just being very annoying, putting up those Bramble Maze down. Can't get out.
Yeah, that control, very important for Beastcoast. But you can start to see the light at the end of the tunnel for them. The potential for them to get into a team fight, burst someone, get that early advantage, and then snowball out with the Bloodseeker. But K1,
one more time.
It out. His BKB's there with a rupture onto Ice. Chris Luck, Sideblade Splat. The rest of the team start to arrive here for BC, and RT, he's got Sunder ready in 1 second, also has the Aegis like you were mentioning, so first life still being held for a sec. Just Crown and Bramble's gonna come through, stunned up his team, and bottom lane, look at the Laguna plane. Crit finds Whisper, he needs the roar. He's starting to fight the Lena, but he's gonna get out of there. Blink ready, no mana for TP.
Arteezy actually griefing. He goes in, stuns Viper, who's trying to TP bottom while they were making a move on Beastmaster. That would actually be a kill.
Yeah, and his Aegis now gone. A reflection quickly towards Chris Luck. Another Cursed Crown, very irritating here. For Arteezy to contend. And then that Arena Spear whipping. Ice, the first misstep of the game.
Swindlemelt would have hit that Arena plus a Spear combo for sure.
Even him. Oh, what's the reason for this? Like, Evil Genius is starting to take their foot off the pedal a little bit. For the past couple of minutes, they've been a bit sloppy from EG. Are they afraid of the BKBs of Beastcoast? Is it that bot lane that's been pushed in so often by Whisper they have to keep coming back and dealing with it?
No, it's chip damage. One thing that they can do is have Viper on the bottom, as we already discussed, and possibly have one hero if they decide to make, like, ET is probably the best option, where if they want to make, you know, they are staying one step ahead, they will have Viper there, so let's smoke and gank him, because what he wants to do is TP back, so they can have ET possibly set up a trap for Beastcoast.
I think they caught a glimpse of something there. EG positioning themselves as if they know the smoke has happened, and yeah, Chris Luck, I think he showed under a ward or something. They were really heavily pinging on that side of the map, so Beastcoast don't get a pick off. They get the mid lane cleared out by TA cutting wave. Tier 1 top lane grabbed up by BC. While EG doing a very similar thing there with a TB illusion, safely cutting wave themselves in the mid. And now we get into a situation where map control is paramount. It really is key. We're looking towards second Roshan as no team really wants to break up the ramps towards high ground just yet, because the lead, even though it's 10k for EG, it doesn't feel like they've got the substantial amount of damage or push to break through the base of Beastcoast.
They have these big items, especially on Lina with the Aghanim Scepter.
He fuels himself. Ice. He blink mules himself.
Too quick. He's too quick with the buttons. Happens to best of us.
And now maybe an opening. Terrorblade waiting in that triangle. Still wants to go for the tier 2 and even a reflection. Pushing forward against Schofield.
Radiant's top tower.
High ground being pressured top lane though, like K1. Then they cleared through tier 1, tier 2. Got a bit of damage onto the tier 3 tower. And again, next Roshan, 2 minutes 20 seconds. They've opened up this map for themselves beautifully.
This is the big timing for both of these teams. Second Roshan, most important Roshan in the game pretty much, because he drops so many stuff. It's like having Christmas presents, all your relatives coming in, and you don't know they're coming.
It's the piñata.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Getting a cheese Aegis, plus a shard. Shard is... who could possibly pick up the shard for EG? Mars is okay, Melina also with Aghanim Scepter, but they might prioritize, give it to the Viper, which causes poison attack to lower armor by 1 per stack, and it also is better for sieging.
Ice in again. There's the Arena Spear down and a great splitter onto Tree. Blowing through Stinger. And Chris Luck having to TP again. BKB up and out he goes back to Fountain while Crit hounding K1 and forcing him out of there as Schofield is chased by the Viper. The 2 supports from Beastcoast really like they're going to meet their end. Demise is inevitable for Schofield.
It's just not enough damage. We've seen the combo, Rupture plus Terrorize. TB a bit too tanky, sitting at 3000 HP right now.
Well, this time, man don't miss. Whisper with a BKB though forces Ice to reconsider his options. Can't go for that Yule Spear play anymore. And they keep the pressure going. Bot lane pushing in. EG Still in this position, very forward in the mid lane. But they've always got to keep coming back. I mean, the first 15 minutes was very much Beastcoast sitting back, farming and waiting, EG making all the moves. But recently, it's been Beastcoast dragging them from one side to the other.
They're very good at it. I want to see EG make a play on the bottom lane, possibly set up a Tinker Ward. This is where Beastmaster's constantly hiding.
Oh, he saw him, I think, for a second. Picking him. He's here, he's there, he's everywhere. Tries the spear. Good attempt from Ice. But unfortunately, off the mark. And they're TPing back out. Rejoin his squad. Top outpost is EG's, while Beastcoast, they're under radiant vision. And that means Ice with a spear launching in towards Maresca. Chain stunned up and a godlike streak still unkilled. 9-0-8.
Ice is just having a blast into this game. Reminds me of the game yesterday with a Timbersaw, where he managed to die only when decision was made to hit the tier 4 tower, stand there, pretend to be AFK. And they repositioned him a couple of times, you know, brought 5 heroes.
Yeah.
Pretty much the story of this game. Once he gets that BKB, it's gonna be very hard to kill. Meta up in 30 seconds. Arteezy has Manta style, has a casual Sange on top of it. Like, you can disassemble it, make SNY. But as we mentioned, Manta style great against the silences and most importantly, the overgrowth.
Absolutely is. I mean, chip down here onto the threes against living armor. Doesn't feel particularly good for EG. Stinger's just going to stick there. Keep spamming out the heals. While we look at the rest of this map, sure, EG have top lane, mid lane pushing in. Roshan 45 seconds away. But would you believe it? The madman himself, K1, has pushed the bottom lane.
Again, there are no shards in this game. The only hero that bought a shard is Dark Willow. Like, that shard was really good. Got a bit nerfed.
Radiant's bottom tower
it reduces cooldown by 2 seconds and stun delay by 1 second, so you cannot. Before it was 4 seconds.
How do you rate the Bloodseeker shard with that, like, pure percentage-based damage?
It's good, you know, but you don't want to buy it. You do not want to invest gold in it.
Oh no, Maresca again! Poor wee lass, she's dead.
I don't think you get too much value out of the shard this game anyway on the Bloodseeker. You want to still prioritize items. It's very good against, let's say, tanky heroes like a Bristleback who have a lot of HP. It's, you know, even in this game, TB has a ton of max HP, so you still get some value, but I think he does not want to buy it.
Wait for the Roshan, maybe get it from Rosh instead. Oh, EG back out on the map, forcing Beastcoast to come back, and they are getting much more effective farm, right? The double engine camps being cleared. We see the Viper on the left, TB on the right, so they are getting that incredible acceleration from all those ancients being farmed up. But there, I believe he scouted Roshan, but decides to TP mid to keep this map pressure up and force Beastcoast into a position where they have very limited options.
So many auras on EG. You have AC, Vlad's done on ET on top of it. You get
Guard.
You get Beastmaster aura with the reflection.
This Lena's huge. 13,000 net worth, ahead of Whisper's Beastmastery. But look at this, it's the Beastcoast special. At any point in the game, you know, your high ground's been threatened. Schofield, that's 4 times in a row in that exact same spot. Top dive jungle, dead again. Oh, Bloodseeker. Don't want to stick around here.
They're doing it.
He's part of the combat, forces the BKB out, but you're right, they've taken down the tier 3 in the barracks. Whisper, Chris Lock, and the tree there, destroying buildings while Arteezy grabs the Aegis. It's all smoke and mirrors.
It's a good move from Beastcoast. They got something out of it. They understand we cannot fight inside the Roche pit. It's a bit too strong against ET, against the Terrorblade, who picked up the shard. It was actually Lena. I like that. Because she has a Aghanim Scepter, plus a shard, and spell amplification, level 20 on top of it. So her shard allows you to have AoE Laguna Blade. You can ground target it on top of it.
And that goes into Willow's Shadow Realm, doesn't it?
It does, yes.
So now that Shadow Realm no longer as great to save as it once was. And Arteezy, emboldened by his Aegis, and this Metamorphosis, straight up behind that tier 3 tower. Living armor with a glyph, though, extends the duration at which TB has to stay up here. A bit long, he mines too much, and with a Great Arena Spear catching Chris Luck, in comes the Sky damage, and that TB raining Hellfire upon the Beastcoast side. Good Laguna Blade as well, but Chris Luck refraction tries to meld and hide away. Turn around from Beastcoast for the roar, but Whisper's obliterated. They're bleeding out. one by one, they filter in and all fall flat,
Dire's
dying
middle tower
as
has
EG turning this great laning stage, an early advantage into a middle lane of barracks and probably the game.
This is all it took, and why EG was not too worried about all that split push. Yeah, you might lose one set of barracks, but they know we group in, we take a fight. Our TZ is just unkillable at the moment. Has that Aegis, will respawn with mana, right now sitting at the 200 mana, so he can spam his spells.
And he's the only one showing. The way for Beastcoast here, the winning team fight, is to get to the back and find the squishy support. Arteezy sunders K1. Yeah, back to Fountain you go. Can't deal with me, I'm a big bad TB. 2 lanes of barracks for evil geniuses, and top lane is also pushing in pretty hard.
Nature's
Creep
not
wave.
here, going through Nature's Grass, another arena.
Straight onto Tree, yet again, support on easy pickings. EG have a beyond godlike Mars.
Take it easy. Just go to the top lane. Aegis available on TB plus Elven Tunic, so he even has some evasion on top of it.
He basically wants to die at this point. Give me some mana back, please. I want a second life.
Dire's top barracks
This team fight execution from EG has been really sublime.
Satanic, kills 2 boars, back to full HP, Sunder available. You need to be very careful, there's not enough lockdown.
There's the roar. They're trying to get in and focus on this Lina. Fly with the Earth, but they're coming back towards the low, and K1 in trouble. Has to bail away. BKB's done, and Dark Willow following the train
Nice
into
dog.
the grave. Chris Luck really struggling to find any form of impact, and GG is called. In comes Iso. He wants more kills. Stat padding time for the Mars. Go on, give it to him. The madman wants more. He's chasing blood in the water, and Chris Luck will survive towards the very end of the game, but a beautiful performance from EG from start to finish.
It was a 10th pick Terrorblade. They knew they had nothing, no real spell damage that TB is afraid of. The only hero was pretty much Dark Willow, and Dark Willow was not having a game. Ice was on her pretty much all the time throughout the whole game, using the arena spear. They opened up the map very nicely early on. Boots of Travel on Viper, rotating 2 of the supports to get the tier 1 tower. I can smiling Rich.
What a beautiful man there. The thumbs up and stuff. But yeah, I think you're right. The fact also Beastmaster, you know, that later pick for Beastcoast, they didn't really manage to put pressure onto the lane and didn't really get the ability to roam around and look for kills.
Yeah.
Sure, he had that lane pushing going on, but that was a sort of a situation where he had to do it.
Not too influential in this game. Also, the rotation made to the top lane, opening up the map. The whole top area was free for Terrorblade to farm up. Just some easy game for EG, pretty much. Like, I don't feel this game was competitive at all.
That's it. Well, we'll head back to Rich and the boys.
Radiant team ban.
They were okay. So for anybody who was like, "What the heck are these guys talking about right now?" So loafing is when you hand somebody something for the intention of just making them feel weird. You don't need them to hold it. It's not like your hands are full. It's not like you are giving it to them. You are just making their day worse. But luckily, we don't have to make your day worse anymore because we have a draft to get into right now. EG versus Beastcoast. Are we going to see another one-sided game that's going to result in us talking about loafing? Are we going to see Beastcoast strike back and try to tie this one up? You were asking for an early Leshrac ban in game number 1. We're going to see that early Leshrac ban coming out from EG this time around. For anybody who hasn't been paying as much attention, what is it about Beastcoast that makes you want to take the Lesh out of their hands?
It's just a Whisper special. He was talking about the ranged damage dealers. They don't rely on traditional team fighting like a lot of other teams. They rely on maneuvers around the map. And I think the fact that Lesh clears waves as well as takes towers so quickly, you saw what they were trying to do last game and they were really far behind. If the game's a little bit closer and you have a Leshrac on your side, you can pretty much do whatever you want in that regard, like split push, take fights directly, anything like that.
Yeah, I think you're spot on EG's draft pattern. You mentioned that if they are second pick, they'll ban the AA, and that's what they did last game. This game, they're first pick. I think they wanted to first pick that AA.
They would have.
Yeah.
They've done it. They've either picked it first, banned it when they were second, or the enemy team banned it.
Completely broken hero, by the way, guys. Yeah. I think AA is just bonkers right now. I think Beast Coast realized that too. They banned it out. EG goes for the other hero that looks really good in this tournament specifically, and they pick up the Mars.
Yeah, the way that you talked about AA and how much it just changes the entire course of the game, the draft, if you are able to first pick it earlier, I thought was really interesting. For anybody who didn't hear that, what is it about AA that does make it so broken in your mind?
So I think a lot of this patch, I mean, people at home, they've played some pubs. They've seen like these centaurs rushing Vanguards. All the centaurs not picked that much, but the idea is the same. You have these tanky heroes, and AA completely nullifies that. Moreover, Satanic is probably the best carry item late game this patch, and AA is one of the few things that just completely counters that. You can't Spirit Vessel anymore.
Even simply.
Yeah, you're right. Even just Sange, like this item has really been strong. And Beast Coast go for this Snapfire Magnus. They actually played a Snapfire mid. They lost that game horribly because they had no stuns versus Ame Morphling, but they have played this hero multiple positions.
Snapfire is also Stinger's #1 pick of the DPC. He played that hero a lot, and I was hoping they'd go for a mag. Didn't I mention mag last game? Not like you did. Credit. I think I was rooting for Whisper to potentially play mag. They are like the
they play mid as well, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Chris Luck plays everything.
Yeah,
Hero Lake.
Every time I think something's not going to be mid, Chris Luck will make it potentially a mid hero. So I do lean towards it being an offlaner, because of the fact that it's already against a Wyvern.
Yeah, I think as a standard, you do want Meg offlane. We were actually having a conversation earlier about Magnus offlane, and this hero's not the same as he used to be in lane. He's actually a pretty good laner.
The Shockwave slow is long enough to set up most things.
And they take like 3 in Shockwave. I think BSJ was telling me, like, you first played against it, and you're like, am I bad at laning? Like, why is Magnus...
I just died. If I wasn't underneath tower, I would just die. And I'm like, I thought I was positioned reasonably.
Oh, look at this...
You've been loafed,
You've been loafed.
I actually got loafed with a loaf.
You know how Jenkins first got the loaf of bread, by the way? I just need to, before we go back into the draft. He asked if he could have some bread, and the guy's like, sure, you can take some bread. And I think the guy thought he meant a slice, but he just took the entire thing. So just so he could hand it to people. Anyways,
the last bit I want to say about this loaf thing is the whole point of this is people wondering, like, what's actually funny about this? Well, Sheever, I think, had to get her mic on, and she handed me her water bottle to hold for like 2 seconds, and I questioned her intentions of why she was handing me a water bottle.
None of us trust each other anymore.
This is with you. It actually gets you.
Like, I mean, what do I do? Like, this is the most awkward draft of my life. I just have to hold a loaf of bread now.
You're just holding a loaf of bread.
Like, I hate all of it.
I put it on the ground? That seems wasteful.
Like that's terrible. I'm gonna get in trouble for wasting.
Oh yeah, he's been doing it to everyone, right? He gave it to like the security. Okay, I don't want to talk about loaf.
Okay, back to
I really like the Wyvern pick versus Magnus. How Magnus works is you're gonna like he's good in lane. He has a lot of other qualities, but generally you're gonna end up empowering a carry, a melee carry. And Wyvern's good against that, not just because you can save them with your third spell, but you're like generally these carries with Magnus, they'll get a very early BKB. You can think of PH. That's what BKB with Magnus. this, and you have curse for that. You can sort of kite the fight.
And you're also either a single target save on the RP with Cold Embrace, or just straight up curse the Magnus the second ARP.
For sure.
Even if you don't curse the guy that's supposed to be hitting them, they would have to preemptively BKB before they follow up.
Why is also like he's a pretty high damage hero. I've been seeing builds where they go like 4-2-1 now, even though like a position survivor, and it looks pretty good. First go is very underrated.
10 seconds
I know
remaining.
because you know if you play ability draft, it's one of the best skills to take.
That gives
So
you
that's why I know it's strong.
range.
Gives you
Does it
night
work on
vision.
melees?
I think so, but it's not as good on normal
Okay,
heroes because it just
yeah.
makes you like a normal
400
hero, yeah.
hero or something.
But it gives you night vision. It gives you a slow on hit. Its Aghanim Scepter is one of the best upgrades. Just a solid skill.
Remember that, guys, if you're ever in an ability draft.
Underrated mode, honestly.
I made note.
You made a note?
I wrote it down.
As you hold your bread.
I was like, yes, something useful for me. All right, but as we do look at these drafts, and we're going to make sure that they come together in a way that's not as awkward as being loafed, what does EG need as we get a little bit deeper here, AUI?
Well, EG's on first pick, so I think right now they're waiting for Beastcoast to pick their hero, and they're just trying to get some counters here.
Radiant
I think
team back.
it's maybe more important to think about Beastcoast's hero. I think they should pick a core here and sort of wait to pick their support until 17 pick. This is because if you pick your support, EG will get the support counter pick, and then you pick your core, and then EG will get the core counter pick. If you pick your core next, you'll at least maybe get a counter
10
pick in there.
seconds
Okay.
remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Evil geniuses turn to pick.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Fit that style, but it doesn't lane well against the Viper.
I think the lane's okay, actually.
It will survive.
Yeah, I think any range hero versus Viper actually does okay right now.
Yeah.
Like, you won't beat him, but you'll get your farm.
Let him have his
Yeah.
and back off.
Because Vipers, like, as you said, they're not
Radiant
really playing
team
for
pick.
some, like, 4-0-2 dominate the lane. Windrunner.
That might be the mid laner.
I think so. I mean, that is good versus Viper, right?
Yeah. Have the win run.
As you mentioned, yeah, you can
Break
disengage the
combo.
stacks. Like, Viper's damage at 1 stack is... I don't know why I did this because I don't know how the math works, but it's way less than when he has
10
5
seconds
stacks.
remaining.
Well, what happens is it removes your magic resistance per stack, and
5
it
seconds remaining.
tacks on the damage over time.
Okay.
So it's like, I think, an extra 20 to 30% every single stack that you're
And it's like
putting on.
exponentially
Yeah,
more, or-
yeah,
Okay.
a little bit more every time because
I don't know if it's exponential. I think I'm getting a
it's
message
not
from the Haas after this.
exponentially, but it's like
It's more and more each
it's a
time.
little bit more. But I feel like
Yeah,
exponentially.
I haven't
applies,
any
and it's like,
education. I don't even
woo!
know how exponential works.
There you go.
I was in arts, like, I don't know.
Yeah, you're gonna get a message from Haas. Don't
I'm
worry.
super getting a message.
You will know by the end of today what exponential
That's how you
truly
learn,
means.
though. You just throw out questionable numbers and force the triggered people on the internet to
to do the math for you.
Exactly.
It's called the Twitch calculator, and it is.
I'm sure that one goes well to Twitch calculator.
Oh yeah, no, that's exactly how you do it. You, like, everybody in Twitch right now, they're doing the numbers right now.
Evil
Like,
geniuses
what is the
turn
percent
to
chance
pick.
that EG wins this game? They're doing the math for us
Totally.
right now.
They stole the Viper so they could pick Spectre as well. Wait, the South American region, they play a lot of Viper support actually.
Oh, Viper 5.
Yeah,
I didn't think about
this could be what
that.
we're seeing here. Because
Oh, I like that.
I think that's exactly what they're doing. And they force out a Wind Ranger,
5 seconds
who I
remaining.
think EG, they've realized this now that this is a Viper support.
So now they're going to make it a 4-win.
They're going to make it a 4 Wind Ranger, and they're still going to have a matchup. But I don't think 4 Wind Ranger matches up the same way against 5 Viper as they do mid lane.
That's true.
Naga Siren, classic for Spectre, I think. He haunts, you sleep, comes out in your favor. You push out a lot of lanes and out-farm this hero, and eventually, because your map presence is so good, you'll be able to take a good fight.
Can I just say that Wind Ranger pick is freaking sick? Can you just imagine how many heroes there are in the game that can be flexed between 2 and 4, and also lane well against Viper?
I think that's actually a thing as first pick. A lot of teams, it's a little bit less now, but especially around the time, what's that misery resolution team, DC?
Yeah.
When they were getting really good, they had a concept, it's like called a debate pick. So from first pick, you would pick a support core flex because you don't get to see the last pick. And on second pick, you would pick a core flex because you have the last pick, it was 22 pick at the time.
Yeah.
Because then you can flex those heroes. So on first pick, you actually want a hero like Wind Ranger that can go core or support. Second pick, you want a core hero like Magnus who
That
can
can
go
be
mineral.
demoted. Yeah.
So we're actually seeing that from both teams here. It's a really good concept.
Based on debates.
It's just when I saw the Viper, I didn't even. They've definitely done their homework, and now that you mentioned, it, I remember it. But I
It's
didn't even
not that
consider
it
that as
stands
a
out,
5.
right? Like,
Yeah.
And it's strong as a 5. We'll see it for sure in the playoffs with no ping
Evil
playing.
geniuses
I watched a couple of their
turn to
games,
ban.
and there's a reason it's permaban versus them.
It's very strong in the lane. What do they use past the lane though? How do they make it work?
I mean, he just has a break. He's good at stacking camps. He's a decent
played, like, the
frontliner.
efficiency
Like,
game?
it's not
Okay.
like he's terrible. And honestly, he's a stupid 5. Like, I'm a 5 player, so I know, but 5s don't have to do anything.
remaining.
Some wards, do a little bit of damage in team fights, and you yell at your cores when they don't carry you.
True. My supports do not do anything.
My cores don't do
I am
anything.
used to
My
laning with
cores-
Slacks while I've been here though, so I guess my perspective's a bit skewed.
Yeah. That will definitely do it to you. The Kunker's gonna be bad.
I think the Naga pick is pretty cool this game. In specific, I think Arteezy plays a very special Naga Siren. I think his opinion on Naga Siren is that
10
if he gets to a
seconds
certain
remaining.
point in the game early enough, the enemy team shouldn't get to play Dota. And not because he's fighting them
5
raw. He will like go
seconds
to mid lane and split his illusions to cut all 3 waves. He'll go for like a SMY or Manta into Orchid. And like use that wave pressure to actually get pickoffs. I invented the Orchid build, by the way. I'll take credit for it. Thank you. Yeah, it's a very specific style of Naga Siren, and I think it'll work out pretty well this game.
Yeah, what Naga does is she's really good at invading the opponent triangle super early because she applies a lot of lane pressure on the tower as opposed to the other illusion heroes like Terrorblade. Yes, he takes towers, but it's after 10-12 minutes in the game. Naga can actually use like a 5-minute catapult timing to potentially take that tier 1 tower or at least continuously pressure, and then once you do that, you just migrate yourself into the enemy triangle and do the double cut wave early and then transition that exactly.
I mean, also, she's just like annoying because even if you commit resources to find her there, she just presses sleep, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're Terrorblade, like you'll just die there. The only hero in Dota that can do this.
The goal against Spectre is to trade ults, right? Against Spectre, she's gonna push Haunt, and you just immediately push Sleep, and you're much happier playing without your ultimate than Spectre is. Now, this is a bit surprising to me. Apparently, they have committed to the Wind Ranger mid, which
They can play Sky mid too.
I guess so.
If they see a really good matchup, I think it's more likely it's Wind Ranger mid for sure.
Okay.
But I mean, that's if I think about Abed as a player, like having a lot of magical bursts, he could make either of these work.
Okay.
I mean, this is the beauty of first pick. Like, if you pick heroes like this, then you get to choose your matchup. Like versus Ember, I think you actually want Wind Ranger. I was thinking Skywrath, but you actually have really low armor. You might get slighted off lane.
So they do go for Ember. Out of all the spirits, I thought it might have been the weakest option because
power though.
I'm saying because it doesn't stun the guys that are in the back, like the Skywrath mages and the Wyverns. I thought with the Storm or a Void, you have the silence from either the Ags from the Void or the Orchid.
Wyvern is actually good for Storm. Because Storm doesn't do enough damage, Wyvern's actually a sort of tanky hero. I think Ember is actually better versus Wyvern specifically. But I can see your point. Like, when Ember goes in, and if you get a turnaround on him with like a Skyrim silence or whatever, that can be very bad for you.
That's what I'm concerned about, but it does match up very well against Naga, and like you said, it has the mag.
I think they need something to deal with the map. That's the most important thing. When Naga is pushing all your waves, like you need this Ember Spirit drop around the TV.
He is the best split pusher out of all three. That's a good point.
I don't like if you have Storm or Voice where you have to TV back, you're not coming back into the play.
I like Beastcoast draft a lot more this game than I did game 1. They always are pretty light on stuns, and we see that again here. I don't believe in Naga. You know, I think Beastcoast is the better draft here.
Yeah.
Now that you've sold me on the Emberverse Wyvern being better.
I like EG's draft just because I think I don't believe in Nagasar as a hero, but I believe in Arteezy's Nagasar. While watching him pubs, he plays a hero like how I theory craft the hero should work, and he does it very well. I think they have enough teamfight to back up the Nagasar sleep that it'll look like a real teamfight hero. We set something up.
He baited me into thinking it was going to be Beastcoast, so I'll retract it. No,
I agree with anything that AUI said. That's what I do as well.
I think Beastcoast draft is way better than last game versus EG's. Like I don't think EG has a clear draft advantage. I just think I'm from NA, so EG's just going to win every game.
True.
Except against Quincy, because EG's not even the best team in NA.
True.
Yeah.
True W.
Yeah.
But we're about ready to get this one underway. If you do remember in the first game, it felt like it was decided, honestly, in the first 5 minutes. Are we going to have a different scenario this time around? Are we going to have another draw? We find out right now.
Nothing.
Feels like the roles are a little bit reversed there now. Beastcoast with a much more solid draft, more team fight, more ability to catch people, and EG going for the wheezy little draft plays, pulling out a Scarf Mage and a Naga at the end.
I'm kind of having the same feeling about TB from the last game. Not enough stuff to deal with the Naga Siren in this. Limited on the silence. I believe they don't have a single silence. They don't. And they also picked the Ember Spirit. Panel talked about how, like, which spirit they're gonna pick. You're never gonna feel too confident playing into Skyrim Mage. The best silence in the game, instant silence pretty much as Orchid. So he could potentially struggle, especially with the early rotations. Looking at the team fight, they have Magnus, but also on the other side, EG has that Winter Wyvern to split the team fight. They have a Song of the Siren, Mars Arena. If they don't feel comfortable fighting, they can easily just then say see ya and then reset.
Yeah, absolutely. And an early smoke here from EG, coming quickly out of their fountain across the map. K1 very close in the vicinity of EG's initiation. They spawn in, the smoke breaks, concussive shot started off. What's the follow through here? Ice with a spear maybe. He's holding on to points. Now it's launched in towards the Spectre, and an Arctic Burn from Fly slows it down, but tanky enough to withstand the burst. Even had stick charges.
30 seconds.
Same ward
Sustain.
placed on the mid lane. Let's see if they decide to devord it once again. Schofield last time around went in and devorded it.
We'll see if they get that done again. K1, of course, all the way back to Fountain to regen, and there is another sentry coming. Ember Spirit bringing one for himself, so yeah, they're going to get rid of that Observer Ward quite quickly. And onto the topic of that Viper, we see there Stinger. A support Viper, something we've seen a fair amount in South America. Pandaboo playing a lot, a number of the South American teams in Div 1 and Div 2 using it to quite a lot of success. I don't think we've seen Beastcoast use it that often, though. So interesting that they're adapting their draft against EG here.
I personally have not seen it in Southeast Asia nor Chinese region. I also don't believe that I've seen any in Europe. But on paper, sounds good. Let's see how it works in the actual game. Paired up with Spectre, so you're going to be annoying. You also need to deal with the Skyrat Mage crits, starting with more region. Understands that there's going to be a lot of harassment coming out from Viper, 6 Tangos, and the Fairy Fire. Getting that concussive shot. And they are swapping the lanes. They want to have Arteezy on bottom, so it's very hard for Stinger to find real Naga Siren. It's going to be very hard to deal with. Right now, they're keeping a tri-lane.
Yeah, they bring Schofield down here. The Snapfire and Viper stacking up the damage for first blood. K1 gets it. Stinger with a Fairy Fire turning back on the crit as well. Concussive shot in the final touch. You get the kill. But trading out 2 for 1 as Beastcoast stamped their mark on that bottom lane.
Unfortunately for Skyrat Mage, he did not have just that little tick of damage to get the experience. Also, I don't know if you can hear slacks through our microphone. My man's really loud out there.
He's excited. Like everybody is. Some beautiful Dota 2. Chris Luck in that mid lane. Ember versus Wind Ranger. Not something that we see particularly often, and like the panel was saying, the Wind Ranger was kind of picked in response to the Viper, but they keep Abed there, and how do you reckon this one goes?
A lot of harassment coming out from the Wind Ranger. No point in Wind Run yet, just have a shackle shot on it, potentially to grab a kill. Both mid laners about to have their bottles with I don't think we're gonna see a kill until level 6. It's gonna be very hard. You need to make a big mistake. Everyone's gonna be full HP. Heroes that can rotate, Snapfire, not the greatest one, especially against Wind Ranger. You're always gonna feel that threat of a Wind Run. She runs away, but for Skyrot Mage, he has much bigger rotation potential on a mid lane with that silence, with that concussive shot, so could potentially make a rotation there. And now we see Stinger actually playing the top lane as Viper with Whisper Magnus.
Okay, one on Schofield getting embroiled in a bit of a scrap there with Crit and Arteezy. Naga Siren, last hit wise, currently 3-1. 11-1 for K1. Some beautiful last hit in there from the Spectre, and Arteezy struggling a little bit. It's quite an interesting situation, because usually you would think Naga Siren, you know, first 3-4 minutes doesn't matter that much. You know, it's nice to get last hits, but she definitely wants to be looking towards that mid to late game. You can go farm jungle quite effectively, and I think Aoi was saying split pushing out, cutting waves with all of your illusions. But Spectre's also a hero that if you give a good start, can scale very early on. So it's that balance between the two of them that EG do have to keep in consideration.
Oh, in a bit of a trouble here.
K1, cookied away, and has the salve. Oh,
gonna get
the Arcane Bolt cancels it.
That's pretty big. Does he have another one? Doesn't, but it will actually bring 2 healing cells back to the bottom lane.
Schofield, the salve spammer now. Stinger. And picked off by Ice. And this Viper Magnus lane. Something we've not looked too much at, but yeah, Fly and Ice there doing an exceptional job.
We have seen what Viper in position 5 can do. If you get that Holy Locket, you get the talent, increase the healing, you max out the Cold Embrace. This time around bottom.
K1 again. This magic damage just keeps flowing from Crit, and Arteezy brings down the Spectre, so vengeance for EG. Schofield also open up, and a double kill for Naga Siren. A 1-1-1 build there from Crit. As top lane, Stinger's Viper yet again caught out of position. And usually with this Viper, we do see it in the position 5, and we've seen it struggle a few times when you put it into this off-lane role, because the lane is so wide open and you're such a slow hero.
Viper, I've seen a lot of Vipers on the off lane, and talked to AOI about it. He's like, yeah, you know, this hero doesn't feel good. You tend to win your lane first 5-10 minutes, and then you just fall off, especially if you decide to for more of a greedy route. Let's say you get boots of travel, you get no value out of it, suddenly you feel like a creep, pretty much.
They need so many items, like we've seen the Arcane's mech, the Rod of Atos, the pipe. It feels like you need utility, but you also need the boots of travel, like you mentioned, to actually play the map. Schofield being hounded by these illusions, and Arteezy, the final bit of damage there.
Range Naga Siren.
Just enough.
There you go.
Got a long sword.
Bottom lane going really well for them, not in terms of CS, but they managed to get 4 kills already. Arteezy has been involved in every single one of them, and also getting some XP, right now level 4, crit. But for a bit of a different build, maxing the Ancient Seal, which is something that I've seen Jin Q does. He tends to play a lot of Skyrot Mage, just to have that extra, it scales really well. Duration, 1 second, it's always 14-second cooldown, but the extra magic damage as well. Like, putting more points than 1 in Arcane Bolt just feels bad.
Yeah, absolutely does. And in particular, against an Ember Spirit, you want that silence to catch out Chris Luck when he is trying to slip around. Do you expect Chris Luck here to consider a Yule Scepter as a defensive item? Or do you want to see like a Maelstrom BKB?
If he gets a Yule Scepter first item, he might not be able to scale. Yeah. I think the
even with lag?
Maelstrom is gonna be good. Maybe.
Oh, look at that!
Oh, skewer back.
Yeah, skewer into spear, back and forth. Rewind on the Magnus basically. Shockwave. Excellent Ice. Stinger's still here with that damage over time, ticking over. Dax, Ice in the neutral cap, but it looks like they won't be able to get the aggro onto the Mars. Get a kill for Whisper.
Trying to get a deny or possibly force Whisper to use his magic wand charges. Whisper holding tight onto it, does not even flinch. But to go back to the item on the Ember Spirit,
nice
maybe. maybe get you know, Javelin and the Mithril Hammer, see how it goes, and then get a BKB if it's needed. If the fight goes well, get that Maelstrom into BKB. I think that's the safer choice, because with Fuel Scepter, you know, you have at least mag with you, but I've seen so many Ember Spirits just falling off short in terms of getting to the top of the network if you decide to go for it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Okay, one being turned on a bit there. Schofield with the attempt on the Sky. And just back to that moment we saw previously, Chris Lock, he's such a boss. Even though he didn't get the bounty rune, he tried the slight onto the Scarlet Mage bounty steal. A little nifty moves you can try there with your Ember Spirit, as Arteezy is hunting in the jungle. Schofield juking around that one little tree stump, past the crystals, scatter blast back onto Naga, and Arteezy here.
Gary, what are these crystals? Like, how did they come up with this idea? You got any lore?
Oh, I don't have a bloody clue, man. Not a single idea. Whisper down, fight, picks him up. Nice, the size traded out on this Viper, stacking up the damage, but the TP home, successful from the Wyvern.
Green Dragon stronger than a Blue Dragon. Maybe not against the Blue-Eyed White Dragon. Is it Blue-Eyed White Dragon?
I think so.
I forgot, didn't see that in 20, 25 years.
That's an old meme. You're showing your age there, Lacoste. Arbed focus fire.
There's the
shot and silence, and Chris Luck, he's popped his one, he still has the remnant to play with as he slides and jumps across to the left-hand side, away from the power shot, and gets out of the range of Wind Ranger.
Maybe overlapping for a second. Still don't think it would be enough. Spectre with the horn.
Coming in for Wind Ranger, absolutely is. Arbed has Wind Run ready though. K1 Stinger.
That's a big commitment. Spectre using 3-minute cooldown not to get anything out of it. It's one of those feels bad moments.
Maybe they thought Chris Luck would be a little bit closer there. And Schofield now also showing himself and in danger to Arteezy and Fly. Poor little Grandma. Gets one more scatter blast out, but the ensnare point up there has Krent with that low armor getting slapped around by the Ember Spirit, and Schofield, he's dragged EG all the way across to this bottom part of the map, doesn't lose his life and gives Chris Luck a freebie on the Sky, and maybe another one. Fly has to call to brace himself. Arteezy holding the line there, making sure Chris Luck doesn't get too much out of this. No one charges, no bottle. Pretty low and limited on the mana pool here. Just spamming Sleight of Fist. He's got the right clicks, but now Wind Ranger comes in with another focus fire, and Chris Luck has pushed his luck, shackled up to a tree, and he's dead. Oh, and he will get his kill anyway. Oh, you cheeky devil.
Chris Luck got what he came for. Got that kill. Not really worth it, you know, but trading a kill for position 5.
Space for K1.
Gotta stay positive.
Open that map for the Spectre. She's now ditched the bottom lane, trying to build the Blade Mail on that Spectre. Well, it looks like Whisper there going into that utility build. The Arcane's the Blink. Maybe see the Force Staff. Might consider even the mech or the pipe if he needs it. But Schofield gonna feel the power of Mars. Arena and the Spear. Just enough to hold him in place.
I don't think Mortimer should be allowed to jump over the arena. He eats so many cookies. He's definitely not in shape to jump over that arena. Trust me, Gary.
Oh, he didn't skip leg day, did he? He's got very powerful thighs. He can jump as hard as he wants to. Oh, we've seen this story before. 10 minutes ago. K1 this time has to all that damage, magical burst from the Mars, the Sky, and of course that Wind Ranger power shot.
That's too much damage. Power shot, the procs coming out from the Javelin, on top of the Ancient Seal, 40%. That's quite a lot. Actually, Max, get out. I like it. I really like it in this game.
Yeah, gets straight through the Spectre, bursts her into oblivion. Well, she is top of the net worth right now, but yeah, not for long. Leapfrogged by Arbed's Wind Ranger. Marga not too far behind. So it's definitely a much better start by Beastcoast.
There's the silence.
Try and keep it going as Chris Lux. Oh my god! Just a power shot takes him down like 80 to 10% in a split second.
He tried to snipe him. Wasn't close, but a good try.
And the past couple of minutes here for Chris Luck, it's been a little bit of a struggle. He's moving around, he's creating that havoc and chaos while Stinger is stacking camps for K1. Blade Mail up, so can quite easily clear through these wonderful stacks made by his position 5.
That's going to be a lot of
neutrals as well.
Different build on Spectre. I like Blade Mail a lot more in this game. We've seen Echo Saber being extremely popular throughout the major. but against Windranger, against Sky,
Radiant's
it
bottom
just
tower is
feels
under
really
attack.
good.
So you can't focus fire the
Radiant's
spec basically, can you?
structures are
Nope.
fortified.
Possessed Mask as well.
Dire's
But a
top
lifesteal to
tower
keep
is
him
under attack.
going.
Pop the Blade Mail,
And then run away.
not a value, but it is what it is. We have a healing cell. What are these Vipers on position 5 even
Radiant's
buy?
middle tower is under
Oh,
attack.
got an arena first. Oh, the cookie Mars arena gets away from Ice, and Chris Luck not really a target they can go for, while Kiss is launching onto Fly, landing a couple of them, and Chris Luck is there. Slicing through the Wyvern thanks to Schofield, as EG's aggression turned around on them.
We didn't talk too much about Arteezy in this game. He's been very involved at the bottom lane in 6 kills. Now needs to go away from it. It feels a bit too dangerous. I want to see when he starts split pushing the map at this point. In ensnare, a lot of value.
Dire's
Actually,
middle tower is
Tons
under
of
attack.
damage onto Whisper.
good setup.
That something good may begin.
All accelerated by the level 4 Ancient Seal. I mean, item-wise on Viper, post-fight Viper,
It's nothing. Mostly he just
Tranquil
does it
Facet
so
one.
bad that he can't even get an item. Okay.
although we've seen like Medallion, like Medallion's quite a common one. It's quite an easy item to pick up little by little.
Radiant's top tower is
It
under
looks like, yeah,
attack.
Solar Crest going to be coming through from Stinger. But it pretty much has been like Tranquils, Bassi, Solar Crest, and then either the game ends and you're winning, or the game ends because you're losing. And Whisper needs just a couple hundred more gold for this Blink Dagger. Has, of course, the maxed out in power, so keeping the Spectre at the top of the net worth. Nice gap there between her and the Naga Siren. And it could be time to fight here for them with Hawks, with Blink RP.
Smoke from EG.
And they're getting ahead of the curve, aren't they? They know these item times are coming. This time, Schofield is not going to be able to cook himself over the arena or away from the power shot. Silenced
Radiant's
up
bottom
and
tower is
backstabbed
under
by
attack.
Fight.
Extra 45% magical damage coming up to Maelstrom on top of the power shot, which is 450 damage.
Where's
Gary,
Chris Luck
you
go?
can do the math, but
Where's Chris Luck going? What's he
back
up
to
to?
Fountain, it seems. Now he
Radiant's
has...
bottom tower is under attack.
Okay, he had Javelin
Dire's
queued
top
up,
tower
but
is under
I
Dire's
was thinking
top
that he
tower
might need to
has
adjust his item build. You talked about the Yule Scepter. Yule Scepter is okay. Now he switched back to BKB. He might need a BKB like straight away.
Radiant's
Understands that
bottom
this
tower is
Skyrat Mage, the build that he went for, maxing out that silence, is just gonna ruin him. So needs a defensive tool.
Yeah, he's not been able to play his game really. I mean, he rounded across thinking about maybe
Dire's
defending
top
that
tower
bottom tier
is
1
under
with the rest
attack.
of his team, but instead gets caught out in the hands of EG.
Radiant's
Beastcoast
bottom tower
looking
is
to make
under
some
attack.
waves in that mid spot though. Arcane Rune for Chris Luck, and they've got that Blink RP. Whisper with his finger on to strike. But this is the portion of the game that Howie was talking about. The Naga Siren, you know, bringing illusions into mid, spreading out, cutting out waves, farming ancients.
It's very hard. They don't have also
Dire's middle
any
tower
kind of
is
tower
under
damage.
attack.
On the Beastcoast, the level 1 Lil Shredder, not even a Blightstone on top of it, so they will have issues just dealing with them. They need to bring
Radiant
numbers, they also
scanning.
need to play with the catapults, and Naga Siren will be very annoying in the mid lane. Cutting the creep wave, and we can see drawing on the minimap, Arteezy, like, I'm gonna go there, send the illusions. He's also ready to set things up with the Song of the Siren if needed.
They want to go on Arteezy here. Whisper is really patiently biding his time, and look at Ice. He knows something's happening. He's trying to figure out, where are they? Let's get some vision of them. I'm going to run forward past the creep wave, try and pop a smoke. I want to see where this Magnus is.
You pretty much have 2 of the best resetting tools in the game, Vibrant Ulti plus Naga Siren. So even if you don't like to take the fight, press the button on your keyboard and reset it. Like, they commit heavily. It's not going to be an easy game for Mag, especially because historically Vibrant has been a great counter Mag. You know, they're going to be grouping around that RP. One good ulti, hero dies. We're going for a different item build this time around. No Holy Locket yet. Ether Lens to be able to cast it from the distance. Same goes for Skyrat Mage. This time around, not going for a greedy build, no Road of Aethas, just that Ether Lens.
I mean, if you get the catch onto someone up end, RP, there's the blink reveal with the kisses on top of the Wind Ranger, but still reasonably tanky with the raindrops to 1 charges. K1 gonna hound her, chase into the trees, and the shockwave clears through Arbed at last. Some serious expenditure though there. 2 ultis, and the Spectre needed to get involved. Still a good kill on the Wind Ranger. But you're right, these two ether lenses, Sky and Wyvern with both of them, looking just to outrange the fog, outrange the vision so they can catch Chris Luck unawares with the silences or the curse.
Beastcoast will gladly slow things down a bit. They use RP.
Arena Spear silence. Dead in a blink of an eye.
And when I said slow things down, I didn't mean slow their farm by dying.
No, but Crit is going to trade out his life for it. Now the skewer back. Whisper. They're going to find Ice in the trees. Vipers come in, Stinger with another toxin, and the boys down, stacking up. K1 comes in. I do get a couple of kills.
Spectre about to finish Manta style. I think it's already flying out to her, so Roshan potentially, if they take a good fight. I don't think they can just go in and take it, because Spectre illusions, you get the Desolate damage, which is almost maxed out. You have the Dispersion as well. Spectre is just farming a lot more with that Empower.
Yeah, the steroid effect, so potent. Oh, the chains don't land on the real Arteezy. Nagasaren's going to come across and help Abed fly on top of Schofield. Snapfire dead.
Double bullwhip. Both teams pick it up.
Time to crack on in towards that mid lane for EG.
AUI talked about how position 5s, they don't have to do anything, and this is exactly what Viper's doing. Just a bit of warding, trying to get some farm.
Arteezy moves aggressively here onto Whisper, and that Minotaur, but the Riptide shreds through it. Spectre all caught up in the Winter's Curse, but Stinger comes in with a medallion, and now that reset button you talked about. Hit the big red button,
Arena
hold the fight out.
E8.
In the back, no, Fly's being burnt alive by the Flame Guard, and the Remnant forward. Back in we go for Beastcoast, but they can't stick onto a target. Magnus for Wyvern is how it ends.
Spectre's becoming a huge problem. Level 15 compared to Naga, who just hit 14 as well. Think about Nagasaren is she's not close to a lot of the creeps that she kills, because most of the time it's just illusions. But carry-to-carry matchup, Spectre should be ahead in this one. Nagasaren has a big power spike once she gets like 2-3 items, but in this game, I don't think it's enough. You still have to force the benefit from the Empire Arena.
Yeah, onto the Snapfire. All out on her own, but a good skewer back. Whisper sets it up with a shockwave. Now the toxin from Stinger as well. Chris Luck putting damage back into Ice, and again, Beastcoast come out on top in the trade.
That break mechanic against Mars coming through very nicely. Mars is actually a hero that has 77% win rate so far.
Yeah, he's been doing great.
Over 20 games, it's not like he won, you know, just a couple. He won 4 out of 5.
I think I heard Jenkins on the other stream talking about it, that the fact you've got teamfight zoning, teamfight catch, you've got great laning with God's Rebuke, tankiness and aura, the ability to buy a number of items, and the displacement tool and magic damage in the spear just makes you such a great, well-rounded hero, and the fact that a lot of players have just got better.
Yeah, this is something that we talk about a lot, displacing tool.
Ember Spirit. That's a great chakra shot. Abed's on top of Chris Luck, and the rest of EG have arrived.
Well done.
Before, if analysts wanted to sound smart, they said like wave showing, stuff like that, but now we use displacement tools.
Yeah.
That's even more sophisticated.
Well, I mean, Jenkins was saying repositioning tool, and I think that's just a little bit lowbrow, so we go for the big words here on this cast, don't we, Lacoste?
Yeah, we do.
Ice. Forces the Manta out, K1. Gets away from the spear, and look at that damage! Spectre just turns around on him, pirouettes, and slaps the Mars down. He's sent to go and meet Hades. His crit is still being daggered and kissed upon. A big lump of lava landing on the Scarlet's head. A double kill for K1. Abed is going to be able to survive as the push forward from Beastcoast was beginning.
Yeah. Before, we also used phrases like on top of wave shoving, power spike. That was a big one. You know, if you don't have anything smart to say, just say, yeah, the power spike for Phantom Lancer is diffusal blade. Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, back inside the pit they go. Solar Crest and Spectre. She's just gonna be on top of Scarlet Mage every single time. He does not have a defensive item yet. Tries to farm a Ghost Scepter. Do they take this fight? BKB flying out to Ember Spirit. That's gonna be a big one.
There's a curse. They catch the Snapfire with Chris Luck there, but Roshan's already dead. Arena comes through, the cookie dodges over it. Now Chris Luck has got himself out of there.
Power
shot misses. Beastcoast. Spectre now hitting a really strong power spike with the Aegis and a Skadi soon as well, Lacoste.
Exactly, that was a big power spike, just getting that Manta style. Where's he getting the gold from? Like,
K1 do.
K1, he knows how to farm. He might be the best farmer in the world just by being efficient. And if you give him a hero like that, plus you also give him some kind of a steroid, which they have too. You have Empower plus a Solar Crest in this game. He's gonna pop off, and we can see the difference already. Naga Siren going into Butterfly next. It's gonna be damage. Illusions are decently tanky against Ember Spirit. You have Cleave against Spectre. Now this God is just gonna ruin people. You jump on someone on top of it, Wyvern in the back lines, Skywrath Mage, you want to take out to these two supports, possibly force Winter Wyvern to use ulti on Spectre, and then you don't have anything. A lot of confusion, because this is what Ember Spirit does, this is what Spectre does, Mortimer's Kiss is landing. They have like a long-range way to stop the kisses, and he's going into Axe, which is very interesting, something that I've not seen at all.
Oh, the kisses, like you mentioned, coming out. Shockwave back into them, fly. Oh, last one lands. Went to Wyvern Thor. And Beastcoast come in for the mid-tier one.
In the flame.
Butterfly done for the Naga Siren, so maybe some stopping power there for EG to contend with this Radiant team. But Ice Inside Arena Spear whiffing out a little bit on the combo, and Chris Luck jumping in towards his remnants. Should be able to find the Mars here with another slot, maybe a chains. And K1 diving into the back lines. Well, Ice with a great blink. He's back up onto high ground.
It's too much. The Spectre has too much farm at the moment. Scotty, Mantis style, 22 minutes in on top of the Blade Mail. 500 gold. Already knows what he's going to go for. Basher for a bit more control. And then going into MKB to deal with the Butterfly, which I think is the correct choice. And Wind Run on top of it. So you counter both of the cores with one item.
Yeah, it's a great choice. And they'll see that Butterfly on the Naga now. See the illusions with it. Beastcoast playing very tight together.
Snapfire going for that Aghanim sector.
Yeah, you were mentioning.
It's a saving tool as well. You can't save people with the Winter's Curse because the AoE is too big. Radius 525, and you need to be on top of someone. I believe it's 150.
Oh, this is
on Gobble Up.
This is a bit tasty. Smoke into smoke. Arteezy, EG boys.
Radiant's middle tower.
I want to try and break out of this rut. They've given Beastcoast a lot of room in the past 5-6 minutes. While Beastcoast are looking to push their advantage. Tier 1 mid being pressured. Glyphed up here for a sec. And Chris Luck does have that 9-second BKB still at his disposal. Can he dodge away the spear straight through the slight? Ember Spirit's down there. But they will get the Tier 1 claimed regardless.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Beastcoast instead opting to go down to that bottom lane. 2 towers.
Dire's bottom tower.
Pretty simple objectives for them to take out. And a bit of a flip in terms of where they want to play the map as well. You know, holding Aegis, knowing there is no Roshan, playing bottom lane feels quite natural for the Radiant team at this point.
It's going to be another free tower for Beastcoast. EG cannot take a fight at the moment. What seems to be a 3,000 network lead for Beastcoast feels more 6-7 in my book, just this Aegis that we need to count in.
Yeah.
It's gonna be gone in a minute.
Radiant's top tower.
I don't even think they can burst Spectre if they use like Mars Arena, Focus Fire, plus Skywrath Mage ulti. There could potentially be save coming out from the Aghanim Center Snapfire. They will go for the high ground. Ton of damage already.
Yeah, the spear back. Trapped up against the barracks in a Mystic Flare there. He Blade Mails Mantis. K1 and snared. They need to finish him off and kill off the Aegis once they do so. And RP though, Witchfoot turned around on by the Winter's Curse, but the kisses! So much magic damage! Arteezy's nearly dead. Cold Embrace will save him as they try to burst through this. A Beastcoast side, the Stinger Viper dies while Spectre has haunted but stunned and held by the sleep. The reset again from EG. Beastcoast can't save her off. They need to get in there. Got the Spectre out, the cookie and the dagger. Gets K1 to the low ground, but it comes out of sight. Oh, he's dead! He's 1v4!
There's no follow-up. Like, they managed to burst down Spectre. She was in half HP. He used everything. He used Blade Mail and Mantis style. It's similar to, like, when you use a BKB before Aegis. So, a bit of a misplay there coming out from K1 still. The most important thing is they deal damage tower, and they also survive on pretty much everyone except their position 5.
Now I do see there the strength of that song against the Spectre. And BSJ was saying whenever she haunts, you just song, just wait, bide your time. Beastcoast though showing they've got plenty of maneuverability items. You see the Magnus with that Force Staff, the Cookie, of course. And Schofield can go for the Blink and the Aghanim Shard, so then he can start blinking on top of people and gobbling them up, while Viper finishes off a nice little Glimmer Cape there, so tons of saves.
His job is pretty much try to break.
Hello?
Oh.
How you doing?
Is it a plane? Is it a bird? No, it's K1. Chris Luck. Apologies.
They don't get a kill off the back of it. And Arbet. Oh, Shackle shot. Flying through towards the Remnants while an Arena Spear catches out the Snapfire. She's got a Cookie, 10 stick charges. Cookie's into the middle of the arena though. The Gladiator trying to battle with her opponents. Falling.
It's when you click accept.
RTZ. They force the BKB. Chris Luck should just, pop the taunt and run away.
He should be fine.
Unless Arbet says no. Shackle shot, he's still got slide chains, he's still got Remnant. Arbet giving the chase back in towards Chris Luck. They're expending his spells, but Ember Spirit in the end, not an easy hero to kill off. And this is a lot of room still for K1. 2,000 gap between him and the Naga Siren. And that's indicated, of course, by that basher he's picked up. And like you mentioned, the MKB coming shortly after.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
This is where Naga Siren needs to get out of the map, start split pushing, Butterfly done, BKB done, so you have a saving tool for yourself. You don't care too much about Mortimer's Kisses. We've seen in the previous fight he was getting very low until save from Wyvern came in.
Yeah, it feels like we need that Scardy or something for the Naga as well. Some tier 3 items being grabbed up. Titan Sliver there for the Spectre. I guess we give the Enchanted Quiver to the Ember Spirit, potentially. He's keeping the Bullwhip.
Right now, just rejoining the mana. That's the plan, and then he will put it in. Paladin Sword.
That's clever.
And it also gives you more mobility. I think what needs to be fixed about the Bullwhip is you should not stop when you use it on yourself.
It's annoying.
It's super annoying.
Because I don't think there are too many items that do that. It's like Shadow Amulet. Stops you when you actually do get the full effect.
Yeah, imagine if you stop every single time you use an item. Like Bleed Mail stop. Sorry, I need to click again, man, to stop. Oops.
Input more commands, please. Well, EG putting themselves in a good position to start a fight. That's what they need to do, or feel the need to do. Playing that bottom jungle, trying to shove out the waves.
Big power spike for Spectre. Getting level 20, the extra 400 HP talent.
If you didn't hear it, he just smiled at me, by the way, guys.
Yeah. So, going into Abyssal Blade, an item that you usually don't see. Mars Arena.
That's the fight they wanted, a pick-off. Onto the snap and RTZ songs so they can run away from the haunt. The real one's not here. K1 is stuck up in that top lane, so Beastcoast very likely don't want to be fighting. EG now an opening for them to grab this tier 2 mid lane, as Roshan has already respawned. They won't know that just yet. Shard, Cheese and the Aegis all up in there. And Arbed, oh, he's invis. If they catch a glimpse, one of these heroes in the back, they could get a tasty pick-off. They're playing quite passively. Move it back, control the Radiant Triangle, control the Roshan. That is the key objective right now for both teams. And Chris Luck here, always in the fog. I don't know if they've got an idea of where he's playing around in that little creep camp area, but RTZ's come across. Margaret Siren there and snares the Viper. The Pistol Blade though, K1 catching out RTZ, the Call of Grace, and now the jump from Chris Luck. Great Winter's Curse though, back into towards the Illu. It does catch the Illu, but it resets the fight at least. Crit will give his life as Whisper, doesn't land the RP, but maybe now an Arbet. Oh no! They missed the Gobble Spit, they missed out the RP, the Bash is not coming. No!
He didn't get it off. Okay, I mean, they let him go. Unfortunately, Arteezy did not have a song. That heal kind of killed him there. They have a ton of damage, ton of magical damage that goes through that Cold Embrace, and now inside a bit, there they go. Roche dropping low. Is anyone in the vicinity to try and steal it? Not really. So that Cheese Aegis plus a shard. Spectre wanted to buy the shard for herself, so probably take it. That's the shard that allows you to cast Dispersion on a hero that dealt damage to you, and illusion lasts 5 seconds. It's also very low cooldown. Let's say you get hit by a power shot randomly across the map, you go in.
Yeah. Jump straight onto her.
With that Abyssal Blade, it allows you to get more control in the team fights, especially against the Ghost Scepters and the BKBs. As we said, not the items that we see lately quite a lot because the cast range got nerfed heavily. You need to like click on the Abyssal Blade, please, Scriff. Like, what is that circle?
Show the range.
What is that?
It's minuscule. I feel like the heroes that still want to buy it are the ones with serious gap close, like Phantom Lance or Spectre, who can just get on top of people quite easily. And even then, it's sometimes a rarity. Beastcoast with his second Roshan, though. Haven't really had too many issues with the Naga split pushing. Tier 2s are still standing all across all three lanes. And Beastcoast the ones pressing forwards towards the Dire base.
Dire's top tower.
And this is very likely just going to be a high ground attempt, isn't it, Lacoste? They've got RP, they've got Haunt.
They got everything.
Dire's
straight up to the tier 3 we go. Well, EG have to have some form of response here. They can't just keep back farming. Arteezy has to make a move because the Haunt is straight onto Fly. Jumping back. Spectre doesn't want to go into Fountain just yet. But Crit and Arbet taking a lot of damage from those illusions.
That Abyssal that we mentioned, he goes in with the Haunt, deletes, and buyback is available, but he does not want to use it, but will probably force to be used. Once the tower drops, if they get a good spear off, this is when the buyback comes in.
Well, we do have a Yule's up on that Ember Spirit now, Yule's and BKB, so multiple ways to get away from that Skywrath or the Wind Ranger. And the melee racks top, forfeited by EG.
And look at what Arteezy is doing on the minimap. 3 illusions, 3 pink spots, just cutting every single creep wave possible.
It's what he has to do. It's a little bit of desperation there from EG, it feels like. Giving up that top lane of racks, they know they can't fight into this double life of Spectre. Try and get the most out of the rest of the map as you can. And Beastcoast, they'll have to filter back and defend. Bring the Ember Spirit mid, put the Spectre bottom, shove out the waves again, systematically move across the river.
Shackle connects on Viper.
We will find Stinger. An easy one for Arbet. Now Blink Shackle shot and Focus Fire. Reasonably low cooldown now. Might even be able to go again if Beastcoast give them a glimpse of another target. Silver Edge for Arteezy.
Big item, being able to break Spectre, break Viper. Viper is relatively tanky, you want to use it on Spectre anyway, but a decent pickup. You can also be able to split push even more and potentially get a kill. Let's say someone smokes behind you, you catch Ember Spirit with the Blink Shackle shot, he's straight up dead. All of his gold, which is a correct choice here, going for the MKB. They need damage.
Everyone's investing every bit of their gold. I mean, Chris Lock here, bought the Aghanim Scepter. It's on to Crick. Done for, and Arbet Spiderlegs BKB on the high ground. He's going to try TP home, but the RP! Whisper catches the Wind Ranger, dead for 70.
He can afford to go for it. Has that refresher already done?
Wow, they spent so much money. I was just about to start asking you how important buybacks would be in the coming minutes, because Beastcoast just buy out a ton of huge items.
Beastcoast thinks that they can end the game, which is correct. If they have like one good fight with that Aegis still up and running for another minute, they want to take it.
Arteezy, dusted, under sentry, and they've got everybody here. BKB and in comes the RP after the Abyssal Blade, and down goes the Naga Siren. Beastcoast rallying around that Spectre and thinking about how they can finish the game now.
I was waiting just in case the Abyssal Blade wasn't ready or they don't get to bash. Safe choice is a safe choice. He does not have buyback. Like, they should go in and poke it to see what happens. Because without the Naga Siren, they cannot split push. None of these heroes are very good at it.
Chris Lock though, a lot of magic damage. Ember Spirit gone. He has buyback, but that might just slow down Beastcoast's aggression.
Really not necessary to go for that kind of a play. They still have this long duration silence plus a stun coming out from the Mars. Need to be very careful. I wouldn't mind if Beastcoast just goes in and again sees what happens. They have 30 seconds. Even without Chris Luck, they still have a decent amount of damage. Age is gone in a second.
Yeah.
MKB also done in the backpack.
Let's swap that one in. And nobody's stopping him from hitting this building. K1 is on tier 3. Hitting barracks with some illusions. So Beastcoast get an objective back up. And now they can start thinking about that third Roshan and the fight around it. It's been such a great Spectre game here from K1. 30,000 net worth almost.
Dire's bottom
His net worth
barracks are
just
under
went down
attack.
by quite a lot. He sold his treads, right? Oh, sorry, he sold his boots. And he's buying out a BKB. Oh, I was wondering why it went from like 29.5 to 28.5. I was like, oh, what's happened there? But yeah, of course, he's got spider legs.
Yeah, and now with the BKB and spider legs that you mentioned, you have that move speed that you need, and you have a defensive tool.
Another catch on the snap. 2 kills in quick succession there for EG. And Beastcoast giving targets where they really don't need to. Song and Dust coming in onto the Viper. Oh, do they see the Magnus as well? He's hiding in the trees. They could go for him, but I think Whisper's safe and sound. They'll give up the Stinger Viper. Oh, no. Chris Lock. Oh, he's stunned up. The Ember Spirit as well. EG come out in force, finding 3 kills in a row.
Beastcoast, they were not on the same page. You can see Magnus going out with his Cuber while Chris Luck just decides to go in. They already lost both of their supports. One of the supports have buyback, the other one is 150 gold short. He needs to be careful. Those shackles are on point, plus the silence. He does not get a BKB off.
It's instant from EG. They catch a glimpse of him, just a pixel of the Ember Spirit, and you're getting silenced, stunned, and dead. And now AG in a forward position, split pushing, cutting waves. Naga's so good when she's able to play aggressively like this from the Radiant Triangle. Even grabs a leveler as well if they want to think about high ground, but again, for now...
Respecting the high ground defense with double skewer, double RP available.
And that's the jump straight onto one side. I think they saw him with that Radiant Observer Ward up to the right.
And back to Wyvern.
And into the Wyvern, yeah, haunting in.
Well,
Moving forward onto Fly, illusion from the dispersion back towards Arbed, but it's the dagger onto Fly. The RP, fake pumped, Winter's Curse comes out. And with RTs, he looks to the snare. They're on a mystic fire to next. That one's still alive. Arbed, though, they blow through Whisper and back onto K1 Spectre. BKB Spider Legs back to high ground. Schofield on the run as well. Beastcoast, they need buybacks. They've got some good kisses in there onto Crit. But Evil Geniuses, they are holding out.
Another song available. They forced the buyback from Whisper. Spectre was dropping low. There's still enough damage to kill this Spectre. If she's isolated, blinking in, faking that RP, what got him killed, maybe just leave it to the Spectre next time. If there's no one around, the Winter's Curse will last only 2.5 seconds instead of the full duration. So it's something that was changed recently. Now Lotus Orb, this is a big item against the Shackle Shot, against the Winter's Curse, and also remove that silence plus from the Skywrath Mage.
EG really showing this execution, spot-on stuff.
Loaded to the gills.
Keeping themselves in the game, keeping it competitive, because it started to feel that with that second Roshan, the maneuvers forward from Beastcoast, it was starting to get out of contest there for EG. But third Roshan up in 3 seconds, definitely the next big point at which we want to fight.
A bit of a Kale there for EG. We'll reconnect.
So what do we got there? Gem up on Schofield, Eon Disc on Crit, Skywrath Mage, Spell Prism, Arbed. So tons of shackle shots flying out towards them.
Magnus needs to be careful. He has Shadow Blade queued up. Might want to think about getting the Eon Disc just so that you survive through that initial burst, have a status resistance. Let's say they shackle you, great against Winter Wyvern ulti on top of it. Doesn't have gold though. You have 300 gold, but you gotta stay positive. Next Roshan will respawn in now, like right now. There we go.
What's Snapfire building, by the way? As we see another Eon Disc there for the Wyvern, because Snap has a Shadow Amulet, but going into Yule's, is that Shadow Amulet just to hide? I guess so.
Chappie would be proud.
There you go.
By looking at this build. Usually you sell everything else and keep only the amulet.
Buy all the obstacle sentries, buy all the smokes, a few TPs. You want to keep your brown boots though, so you can run faster down the lane. Maybe a windlace as well. In the mid lane getting shoved down by EG. Stinger there. There's the Viper doing a great job with Nenotoxin just holding back against the illusions.
It's a good way to hide
K1
while using Mortimer's Kisses.
That's a good point, yeah. K1 and Chris Luck, hyper aggressive. Oh, look at him go. He starts up and he's got a BKB. Flies Winter Wyvern, cold embraces herself, but in comes the Abyssal Blade. and the Horn.
Eon Disc.
They're jumping towards the Wyvern. Fly has the curse towards the Spectral Illusions while Chris Luck is toying with the backlines. Crit's nearly dead, burn alive, even through the Ghost Scepter. Stinger down though in the back. Viper inside that arena, but look at Arbet. Has to focus fire Chris Luck. Well, Whisper, or does he have anything left here? Any RP, they do have it, but the blink away. Arbet's caught, but no BKB. Oh, the Eon Disc. Chris Luck survives.
Finally.
He still dies though. Dead for a minute and a half. Arbet solo RP'd. Spear on the Spectre though. They can't close the gap onto it.
Another RP.
And an RP on Arteezy.
Where's the follow-up?
I don't know, man, it's not coming. They've got a bit of blade and stuns onto Ice Ties. Instead, they go on the Mars because the Naga. Too difficult to contend with. Arteezy. He's on the run back from K1.
They need to get back. If they get a good shackle on Spectre, they might be able to kill her. Buyback from Abed, Blink Dagger available.
Oh! That was close.
They got nothing out of that. They lost Chris Luck once again. Eon Disc assembled, and he decides to go in, but it's only 2.5 second duration. Roche is up. What does he have? Refresher.
He's got goodies.
He's got some good stuff.
And with that minus armor, it's so quick. Evil Genius is in the pit. Is that their first Roche of the game, isn't it?
It is.
None of the drawbacks.
And they will give it to Abed. He used the buyback, so they want to still have another hero potentially in the game. No buyback on Arteezy, just a 200 goal short, but we'll have it for the next fight.
Yeah, pretty much no one's got buyback at this point. What's the Spectre got now? So a refresher orb.
Refresher orb, yeah.
What did she get rid of?
Blade Mail. The Blade Mail is not there anymore.
You're correct.
Took me a second to, let me try to figure out.
It's not the boots, it's not...
I'm a boomer, Gary. You know, even Team Secret couldn't figure out which starting items they had the other day, so...
They needed someone to screenshot it from the stream for them.
Can't blame me.
Sometimes it is difficult to run with these things. Can't blame you at all. But yeah, now we're going to have the double Abyssal, BKB and Horn up. K1 Spec.
No RP for 25, no refresher for 50 on Magnus.
Still smoking up though. Beastcoast. That bottom outpost, not in their hands right now. K1 shows himself on an illusion. A lot of illusions coming from Arteezy as well. Now that is the big threat from this Naga throughout the game. Controlling the waves.
Wyvern holding onto refresher shard, so double ulti, double heal possibly, a double Minotaur Horror, so budget BKB, and also Eon Disc, but Eon Disc is not that great with the refresher because it drops below the threshold, and one pick is gonna proc it again.
Pretty much. That gives you a little bit of time to reset, maybe cast a Winter's Curse though. BC realizing they could maybe go and finish that bottom lane of barracks.
Need to be careful with Eon Disc on Wyvern. You use the Winter's Curse while having Eon Disc, you deal no damage.
Nice smoke from EG.
When that item first came out, I was like, why am I not doing damage? Am I stupid? I mean, the answer is still yes, but you know, I just had to read it for what's actually good.
Oh, he gets away. Out he goes, but the Song of the Siren onto this haunted Spectre. EG sticking around, they want to fight Stinger with that shiny golden Viper arriving. The damage over time, even through the golden brain. RP comes in, Whisper gets the two of them, but it's the Aegis first. The life expended, but the Winter's Curse in there to save the Arteezy Naga. Has to BKB inside this arena. Isis trying to zone them out. Schofield gobbling up the Ember, spinning them away from the Shackle Shot as Arbet looks to focus Chris Luck, but the damage, so much physical burn from K1. Beyond Godlike Spectre looking for the Wyvern now.
Another Chris Luck available.
He's on the fly. He's got a curse on the Magnus, sure, but Arteezy and Isis, they're your only damage dealers right now. They kill Fly, Schofield traded out, but Chris Luck's still going, and they've got a Spectre coming in from the top side too. Here we go to the Mars. Arteezy and Crit, can they deal with K1? Naga versus Spectre, but K1's winning. He's got Chris Luck behind him. Ember Spirit slapping around with these slides of fist. Oh, he's got a change towards Crit as well, maybe here. Yules him into the air, Remnant across and through the Ghost Scepter. They're doing tons of damage.
Spectre's still alive, level 28. But she's available on Arteezy, so he can pop it.
Arteezy alone at this point. He's got Mantha, he's got Cheese, trying to toy with Beastcoast. Sure, but they're not letting him hit anybody. And a bird hit, bash! Perfect! Margaret's down! And Beastcoast for the team wipe.
Oh, it doesn't get better than this. Actually gets the first hit bashed in the end. The Satanic was popped. Can't get the cheese off. Like, Song was available as well, so he could potentially reset. Sometimes, you know, luck is on your side.
RNG for K1.
But it was nicely executed. Chris Luck goes on to crit 2 times in a row. Chris Luck actually, you know, gets rid of, can't really do too much. You pop that Ghost Scepter, you have Eon Disc, but he has tools to deal with it, can't dispel it with the Yule Scepter as an Eon Disc for himself, and Spectre is just going. Spectre has 6,000 gold gear, level 29, and once you get those other items as well, it's gonna hurt quite a lot.
Yeah, they're going up to tier 3s. I mean, it's this age-old battle of carry with Basher versus carry with no Basher. Arteezy has had to buy one himself, and is showing off now. Gets a Basher onto Spec, forces out the BKB, and Beastcoast a little bit more wary of their positioning here. Don't want to overstep their bounds.
Easy there. He maybe overestimated how much damage those illusions deal.
And Artur wants that Abyssal Blade. I mean, buyback-wise now, what are we looking at? Nobody with buyback, maybe a couple of Spectre, Magnus, so definitely Beastcoast favored buyback-wise. Snapfire will have hers in 40 gold as well.
Vibrant ultis are not on point this game. Most of the time it's used on Spectre illusion just to keep Spectre there in place. Maybe if it's used on a hero, she's gonna be actually dealing some damage, but unfortunately it's not that easy. You see that Manta style pop, you see all the Haunt illusions, you see illusion coming up from the Dispersion with that shard upgrade, and now going into the Nullifier to deal with the Eon Disc, to deal with those Ghost Scepters on top of it.
Yeah. Oh, we've got another Refresher Orb as well, by the way. Ember Spirit.
So yeah, with the Aghanim Scepter, refresh your Fire Remnants, go in and out multiple times, refresh your Eon Disc and the BKB most importantly.
So what, 4 Sleights of Fist, like 9 Remnants, whatever it is, tons of ways to juke in and out of fights and do all that damage as well. Arteezy moving with his pack of illusions here. K1 refresh BKBs though. Arteezy gets swum on, and Chris Luck in the back gets out of the silence with his BKB. Remnants towards crit. He wants the Scarlet Mage. He refreshes, but there's the Eon Disc. Crit is back to his tier 4s. Chris Luck, he still wants him, but in the front line fight, they've got the catch onto the Naga. The die back of Arteezy, and Beastcoast have the numbers advantage. Into the tier 4s, onto Fly, and Chris Luck is toying with them at this point.
It's just not enough damage for EG. This game, without Naga Siren for 2 minutes, they don't have that break mechanic, they don't have enough damage to deal with the Spectre. Spectre about to hit level 30, actually, so she's gonna unlock all the talents pretty much. I don't think it's gonna come to that point. Maybe if they get the full debuff, and you will see Magna still lurking around.
Chris Luck, but the gobble up save spits him forward. They want to go aggressive, cookie around, back onto Mars. Winters goes this time, onto the Vipers.
This is a good one.
It is a good one from Fly. Oh, net the kill, but a shackle shot there. Forces the buyback out of Chris Luck. The trouble is, EG are running out of resources and an RP. That should secure the victory for Beastcoast. 2 heroes stunned up, and K1 with a triple.
Oh man, what a game. Much better performance from Beastcoast in the second one. EG made it look easy in game number 1, but Beastcoast in the end showing what they're made of. They got their heroes. Chris Luck struggling a bit at the start, didn't have enough to deal with Skyrat Mage rotations, that long duration silence, instant 6 seconds, and in the end, like K1, what he's good at is